We're live.
Yay, live. Welcome to session 10 of our Sea Dogs GURPS campaign. I am Gigerman, today's GM. For better, for worse.
Or likely for worse.
Do we have any business for this session to take care of?
None as of yet for me.
I will just check.
So I do have a pocket full of character points that are just itching to be spent.
We'll fix that.
I already told you I can't afford unkillable and undying and unaging.
So the stuff that I have, Geoffroy de Salaman tossed Randall Payne a sword. That is a Shavana. It is technically a transitional rapier, but in GURPS terms, it's going to be a broadsword. So I don't know if you'll want to use it, but it's there. It is on the party sheet right now. Shavana, it is fine. And and I have a picture that I was meaning to actually share as I was talking about it instead of after.
You know, Hayden has a fun sword. You may not want to play with it, though.
I'm not sure what that means.
Is that a euphemism?
I'm not going to elaborate.
He says sword like we say gun, if that helps, Daniel.
Okay, so there was some question about the sale of cargo and the end results of that. I wanted to let you know that currently you're sitting at a profit of £8, 5 shillings.
Whee!
Is that already added, or?
That is including the current cargo that you have, although we'll have to revisit that. But for reference purposes, that's about 800 in GURPS, which, if you compare it to the totals that you've been spending so far, around 22.5 or 3,000 GURPS, is not an insignificant amount. Although you would obviously be making more profit if you were purchasing more goods at a time.
How many
We don't have a big enough hold.
How many Big Macs is that in the Big Mac economy?
I have no idea.
Let's see, 800 GURPS, you say?
Thereabout, yeah.
And how much is a Big Mac in the GURPS economy?
Well, you have to go for the local period, though, so a Big Mac would be probably more expensive.
I'm gonna murder you all.
All right, so we're just going to say 5 GURPS to a Big Mac.
Well, no, it'll be less because it's a meal. So I think it's three or 4 GURPS. 3, I think, GURPS for a meal.
Yes, I'm gonna murder every one of you.
So 800. So 8 pounds equals
Imperial
800
or metric meals?
Yeah, it's about 100 GURPS to
So
a pound.
about 267 Big Macs.
African or European?
Again, Imperial or metric Big Macs?
Well, he says Big Macs, not Royales with cheese. No, wait, that's...
Well, yeah, but when
Quarter
Brian
pounders.
says dollar, he's talking about a different denomination than when we say dollar.
So last time, slightly changing the subject, last time we had, when Geoffroy took up passage with you guys, I told you that the rate for a distance or a voyage of that distance was going to be somewhere between 12, 14 shillings. What did you charge him?
Standard
Never
rate.
actually settled that.
Yeah, I think the going rate was mentioned. Like when you said what the rate was, somebody said like so be it or that's good or something like that. I don't remember exactly.
If we said from 12 to 14 shillings, it'll be 14 shillings.
Or 13.
No, 14. If we said 14, we're going to charge 14.
And I meant to see how many GURPS that was.
Wait.
Probably won't be that hard.
Is it 20 GURPS to the pound? 200 Gurpies to the pound.
It is 100?
Look like one.
Yes.
It looks like 200.
Yes. 100 Gurpies to the pound.
What about electrum pieces?
I can't help you there.
14 shillings, according to your spreadsheet, is 70 Gurpies.
Oh, you were... You know, that would have been a great idea for me to go over to that side where I had the shillings right there. That's very forward thinking of me to set up two different ways you could get there. It's a shame I wasn't actually looking at that. Okay, 70 Gurpies. Right. So now I can go update the logistics.
The one doubloon is 100 Gurpies.
All right.
That's
I
what it
have
looks like.
recorded that he paid you 14 shillings. Now, what's next? Okay. I had some difficulties actually getting a picture of what the Masonic ring would look like at this period, because apparently I guess there wasn't a standard that far back. So I don't know what it actually looks like.
It looks like a magic ring. We forgot what it looks like. It has an enchantment on it.
But whatever it is, it's recognizable to those who know what to look for.
Yeah, it's got a nice
It is
little
still that.
magic glamour that you look at it and you just look past it.
It might be.
Fnord.
It did end up figuring out what Davino was going to get paid for working a day at the gunsmith. That was going to be 3 livres, which is going to be roughly equivalent to 4 shillings. It's okay to put down 4 shillings. You'll end up converting it anyway.
Which is
Even
20
better.
Gurpies.
Which is 20 Gurpies. And there was a bit of confusion.
Or is that
possibly
15?
20.
I'm now confused on how to read your chart. Livre, I see Gurpies. It says 15.
He said 4 shillings, so I put 4 shillings and
It's
it told me
entirely
that's 20 Gurpies.
It's entirely possible I rounded up somewhere, so
Shillings is 20 Gurpies.
Don't sweat it.
Killing me with this chart, man.
It's Daniel. That's what
I'm
he
surprised
does.
you even looked at it.
Well, I started to become quite a bit curious.
Okay, so
That's your first mistake?
last
I'm
time
curious.
when you guys were at St. Kitts, we started to have a conversation about whether or not you needed to top off the provisions, and either I missed it or we missed it, but that did not get done. So I just assumed a base rate for that for a half ton, and we'll figure that's good.
Okay.
I'm sure nobody will complain,
I might.
except possibly Mark.
That wasn't Mark. Dun dun dun.
And with that, Harbor Log, Monday, January 29th, 1725, Port-au-Paix, Saint-Domingue. It is clear and warm with a light northeasterly breeze. Sir Randall and Dr. Spenser are returning to town from witnessing a strange duel, while Lieutenant Rogers is hearing a proposal.
Yeah.
So, Spenser, Doctor, have you ever heard of a duel ending with a decapitation?
Hold that thought. We have to pick up right at the cliffhanger. That's how it works.
Cliffhanger.
So Rogers, having just heard the proposal,
Gulping
is
wine.
gulping down a glass of wine very quickly, while Mina bats her eyes at him a few times, waiting for a response. And after a few seconds, she can no longer contain herself and breaks down laughing. Says, "I wish I had a painting of you making that face. Or a bust."
Madam, you astonish me.
But seriously, I have to meet a contact at a high-class dinner party, and a young aristocratic woman without a husband in a den of Frenchmen is asking for trouble. Plus, I could use some backup anyway. It could be dangerous. My contact sounded very serious, nervous maybe. You'll have to take my name, of course. I realize it's non-traditional, but they'll be expecting a Mr. Deering. Sorry.
I was about to ask.
Henceforth, we're going to have to start referring to him as Mr. Deering.
You
Where
will
was
never
that?
know of this.
Oh, I'm thinking of Arrow.
Damn it, we need to hear this.
Nope, you will never know.
Let's see. Yeah, so she says, well, you'll need some proper clothes, something befitting my husband's station. We can find a good tailor here.
Look down at my lieutenant's uniform like, hey, oi.
We'll need to be seen around town together anyway. So just FYI, getting new clothes is going to be rather expensive. She does say she's got it covered, though.
Well, you do know how to make an offer a man can't refuse.
Do you have any questions at the moment?
What's our cover? What does your husband do, if not a naval lieutenant?
He's a gigolo.
Oh, naval lieutenant will do. I haven't given them any details.
Oh, very good. So I'll just be myself, but with a different name.
Indeed. The event is to be held on Wednesday evening. Today being Monday, that means you would end up staying a day later than you normally do.
Last time we met, I believe we ended square, so this will mean you owe me one.
Oh, well. Right. So, any other questions?
Nope, that's it. I'm just going to follow her plan and help her out as best I can.
All right. She will add, asking if you have anyone that you could trust. More pairs of eyes wouldn't hurt.
Yes,
Yeah, Mr.
but
Daring.
I can't speak for the availability of the person I have in mind. I can find out.
Do that, and we'll meet up tomorrow around noon and look into some tailoring. It'll be fun.
Very well. And I'll take my leave and head back to the ship and look for Captain Hayden.
Boo!
In the meantime,
We are quizzing the hell out of Mr. Solomon, or Jeffrey.
Article and
Jeffrey,
Randall,
whatever that.
Sir Randall are in the boat, reaching the docks at Port-au-Paix, and Jafra has said that, well, obviously he's been stabbed a few times. Says he's going to go head back to the hotel and rest up a bit.
I don't know. What about medical treatment? Those look pretty bad.
Don't worry about it. Don't waste your resources on me. I'll be fine in the morning.
Totally thinking he's going to be dead in the morning.
Dr. Spenser is a very highly regarded medical practitioner, Mr. Jaffa. Certainly those wounds should at least do with some
Dead in
binding.
the morning.
Wouldn't want any kind of infection to set in.
I'll be fine. It's not my first duel.
He is paid up, right?
Well,
He's
very well. Where would you like us to place your body when we find you dead in the morning?
Well, if you should find me dead in the morning, then I will not care what you do with my body. You will likely find it without a head, though, I think. So you don't need to make the casket full length?
Here's a question. If you're not a Highlander, but you decapitate a Highlander, what happens to the quickening?
I think it's wasted according to the rules.
Yeah, I think that's true.
It still happens, but it doesn't necessarily.
There's no one
affect
close
the-
enough to absorb it.
Right.
So there is actually the phrase "there can only be one" is wrong. There can be only zero. That is a potential.
How so?
Because if somebody kills the only one Highlander, then you get it.
Then it's too late to kill them.
Yeah,
Once
but
they're the
if
only one, they're all powerful.
Yeah, if some schmo can take the one guy that's left, then the quickening wasn't worth
Car
a whole lot.
accident.
And if there are two left on opposite sides of the world, and one of them is decapitated by mortals, the other one becomes the one, and becomes all powerful and is no longer killable.
Well
and
then,
is looking around like, "What the fuck just happened?"
but what happens
I
to the
feel
quickening
weird.
for the one that had all the power that got decapitated? Is it wasted, or does it go across the other side of the world?
Good question.
I would tend to think that that quickening might be released and create a new immortal somewhere.
Why wouldn't it
But
go to the
that's
person who
just
did the
a-
killing?
I guess it could.
It's a kind of magic.
It's a kind of magic.
But at least in the world of darkness, it is actually quintessence. So Magi
A
can
wizard
actually
if you're
use it.
killing.
Right. So catching up here, Davino. This is toward the evening, so Davino is wrapping up with the gunsmith that he was working with, and he gets paid the 3 levers. Yeah, his apprentice was sick, and that's why he needed the help. And he had you cleaning and filing barrels, and there are a number of things, part of the process of creating the guns that require a 2-man job with the forge and whatnot. But mostly, so he had you doing a lot of the monkey work while he was working on carvings and that sort of thing. And technically, this is against guild rules, but this
I'm
is a
not gonna
town
report
of
him.
this is a town of 2,000 people. There's just who's gonna know. He's got to get shit done. He was a little concerned at first with because Boom kept stealing his tools and giving them to you.
He just tries to be helpful. Whether it's legal help or not, remains to be seen.
But at the end of the day, he says, "Well, I've got plenty more work for you if you want to come in tomorrow."
I'll have to see what the what the crew's plans are for tomorrow.
And with that, Hayden was out hitting the bars, trying to find some kind of information about his son and failing for the most part.
Yes.
And I believe that's all of you. So, business for the evening. See, Rogers needs to go talk to some people. He's going to have to find Hayden, because Hayden is currently still
Yes.
bar hopping until he says otherwise. And Spenser has not yet found his crossroads.
Probably gonna go looking around for it.
So the sun is getting low. Is he going to go out in the dark?
I think he's gonna get lost. Goes out to
could
use
get
the
lost.
bathroom, and then he gets lost, and
Ah,
that's probably what he actually needed to do. I don't know this place. I've never been here before, and it's dark.
anybody else?
Oh, I'm sure there's a bathhouse.
Didn't you already do that?
Not here.
You sure? I thought you did. I
Mm,
thought you went with Geoffroy earlier.
Oh, if Geoffroy went to the bathhouse, and yes.
Not that you probably couldn't use another, maybe. I don't know.
Let's see. Marketplace. We were looking for stuff. Bathhouse. Where? I'm going to the bar, the inn, pub, drink.
Nightcap. Well,
Yep.
you'll run into Hayden then.
More for current affairs.
As it happens, there aren't that many bars in this town, comparatively speaking.
Will
Sure.
carouse.
There are a lot of churches, though. All right, well, right. So Rogers will end up finding both Randall and John in the bar.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Howdy.
Howdy, you're a British gentleman.
How do you do, sir?
So we'll make some small talk and then get to the point. Rogers will say, tomorrow evening, I have an affair to attend to, and I might need your help if you're available.
Actually, I think it's not tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday. She said it was on Wednesday.
Oh, well, day after then. I'll give the correct date.
Of course.
I'll fill you in on the details later, but it's a mysterious matter, somewhat sensitive. I'm not sure how sensitive yet. but it should involve some free food and drink at least.
Well, that is good. And given our recent dealings, mystery is not a surprise anymore.
That's ironic.
So, without saying too much in public, I'll secure their help.
So are you asking Randall as well?
Yeah, both, since they're together, and they're both Englishmen, and seem to be. Hayden, I definitely trust, and Randall's growing on me. So, yeah, both.
Woohoo!
Like
Succeeding.
a wart.
I'm still succeeding.
Very well.
Why do they have lit lanterns during the day?
Why not? In case it
Because
gets
that
cloudy?
place is lit.
It's how they light their cigars.
I guess lit lanterns during the day is like wearing sunglasses at night.
He gets it.
Just cause. What's that NPC's name?
Which NPC? Bob.
Tell us about Bob.
Bob's tongue is cut out and he can't tell you anything. Shush.
Bob.
Don't you trim your images?
That's why.
I swear, I'm the only one that does that.
I used to do that all the time, and then I decided I don't like all that work. Dr. Spenser finds himself wandering out of town for some stupid reason, and ahead of him he sees a crossroads.
It's not stupid reason. It was a perfectly legitimate reason. I just can't remember what it was.
Exactly.
I saw an odd bird that shouldn't be local to this region, and I decided to follow it.
It may have told you to. So you find yourself at this crossroads, and you're looking about trying to decide which way you should go from here, and probably
dig out a
trying to
coin.
remember which way was town.
Intuition.
I don't have intuition.
Is that what you're going to do? You're going to pull out a coin and do it?
I think I'm going to pull out a coin, yes.
Ooh, I have intuition. I forgot about that. I forget about my advantages.
Yeah, that happens.
Oh my God, does that happen? There
All
have
right.
been like several instances in this where it's like, after it's done, I go, crap, I should have rolled that. And that.
So how do you do the coin? You just toss it in the air, let it land on the ground, or?
I do.
All right. You toss the coin into the air. It flips. It lands on the ground. You bend over to pick it up, and when you stand up, you see a older mulatto woman standing there, smiling at you like she'd been there the whole time.
Oh, my apologies, madam. I did not see you there.
She smiles at you and says, "You must be Article. You're younger than I expected." And she motions to a house off the road, which you are not sure it was there before,
It's getting
And-
dark. I didn't see it.
and asks if you'd like to come in and have some tea.
I would love some tea. Thank you very much.
You follow her over to the house.
Ask her her name.
Sorry, I gotta adjust my notes. Says you can call me Madam Cassandra. I'll tell you to just call me Cassandra, but I know you won't.
No, that would be improper.
Inside, she moves around making tea, talking while she does. She smoking a long pipe. Says, so, why are you here?
Well, that's something of a long story. I'm trying to retrieve my wife from the Master of Crows.
Do you see that? You hear it? No? There's a crow sitting on your shoulder. Mean-looking little bastard. Keeps cawing in your ear and pecking at your head. There it goes again. You just happen to be getting distracted at that moment. She points at you and says, "That's enough from you there. You hold still." And when she says that, Spenser's mind goes blissfully still.
Whew. What did you do, and how do I reproduce that?
Sorry, kid. It won't stay quiet for long, unfortunately.
I just finally recognized the lady. I felt really stupid.
I don't feel too bad.
I don't recognise her.
She's going to offer me cookies here in a moment.
Ah,
What's really going to bake my noodle?
Master of Crows, you say?
Yes, I think I've had interactions with him.
The entity you call Master of Crows is a powerful fairy lord. What he's taken from you, only he can return it. What he's burdened you with, only he can remove it. But if you have his true name, you have power over him. I don't know it myself, but you're holding the key in your hands now.
He's
It's full
totally
of
going to look at his hands.
You have that book in your hands. You
What
may not have
book?
intended to bring it.
Which book?
The one your Nana gave you.
Oh. Huh. So his name might be in here. I can figure it out.
The book is full of arcane knowledge and rituals and the like. There are 3 true copies of that book. When you put them all together, you'll see you have everything you need.
So how do I get these copies? Do we know where they are?
Oh, I don't know where they are, but I've got our best scholar on the case. And she winks at you.
He's totally going to have to laugh at that. The problem is this apparent crow on my shoulder. How do I silence him? At
Like
least
I said,
temporarily.
that is a fairy curse.
I know the Master of Crow's real name. It's Cheryl. I did a Google search for the Master of Crow's real name, and Cheryl Crow came up.
So I am going to have to find a way to be immortal until I can get, track her down.
Let's see. Questions?
Let's see. He primarily wants to know how she managed to temporarily silence the crow and clear his mind. Because if he can reproduce that, then he can possibly he's more likely to be able to locate the true copies.
Oh, you're not nearly there yet.
Okay.
You gotta learn how to sit up before you can learn how to run.
Well, I can't run if I don't know how to stand.
He smiles big at you as she's handing you the tea. Says, I like you.
I
Now,
do try. Thank you.
I can only show you the path. I can't walk it for you. But I'd recommend asking your new passenger. He can tell you more about the book. Heed him. He can teach you a great deal, though maybe not as much as he thinks.
Do you know anything about this fellow? He cut a guy's head off, and now he speaks Dutch, which he didn't speak before.
Oh, those are his secrets. They're up to him to whether he'll let you have them or not.
Huh. Let's see. What else do I want to ask? Damn it. My brain just went bloof.
She's kind of looking at Article as he's sort of pondering the questions and reveling in the fact that he can think straight. Says, you really have no idea.
You've got
the gift, kid. You just never knew it. You've always had the strangest luck, haven't you? But what you just assumed to be coincidence is really a force you can harness, direct if you know how. That book can help you unlock that potential.
I've read this book. It's just fairy tales and gobbledygook.
Think of it like a code. There's a key.
And what is the key?
The other books. The other copies.
So this is one of the 3 true, so I only need to find 2 more.
And he does math.
Well, I needed to make sure that this was actually a real one and not a copy that wasn't of the 3.
Well, what is real?
I would like to consider I'm real.
Now keep that book safe. There are others out there that will stop at nothing to get their hands on it. If they succeed, it will not be to humanity's benefit.
Huh. Yeah, this is one of those problems where playing someone who's a bit smarter than you.
Well,
I'm wondering if is there anything else you can tell me that would be of immediate use or of helpful that is within your ability to do so?
Yeah, I don't think I actually have anything to add here without being more specific. So you guys will back and forth a little bit,
Right.
and eventually the tea will be gone, and she'll get up and say, "Well, I guess that's about it for now. Our paths will cross again, I have no doubt."
Her house
Oh,
is a TARDIS.
I greatly appreciate your assistance, Madam Cassandra.
You take care of yourself.
And you do the same.
And as you exit the house, you find yourself once again at the crossroads, and you don't see the house, but it's dark,
And I'm lost.
and you're maybe lost. Fortunately, it's a coast, so there's basically 2 directions you can go.
And this is where I'm going to flip a coin and, heads I go that way, tails I go that way. Let's go that way.
Eventually, you will find yourself back at Port-au-Paix and back at your hotel. It would be useful at this point to establish how you will be keeping the book.
Well, for starters, I'm going to end up buying another. Actually, do I have one of those? I currently have that scribed box, which I think I carry.
I think that was a little big to carry around.
It's listed as only 3 pounds. Diagnostic manual is 20 pounds. That's back on the boat. Clearly, I'm going to have to get like a big waterproof bag and be toting that puppy around. But I'm probably going to be very tired in the morning because I am likely going to be spending all night doing as much as I can with the reading.
Right.
And then I'm going to go, in the morning, bright and early, I'm going to knock on, Jeffra, whatever the hell it's Jeffrey's door to make sure he isn't, quote, dead.
Speaking of that, Tuesday, January 30th. Day 2 of port.
-1 for fatigue for lack of sleep.
Yes. So, on Tuesday, Rogers has around noonish
It's not Rogers, it's Daring.
with Mina to get him fitted for a suit.
I will show up on time.
Let's see. Anybody else got stuff to do?
Yeah, I have to go harass the immortal guy.
Oh, Payne has, or rather, Spenser and Payne have the cargo to deal with. So you guys had made arrangements, but you were poking around at some of the other, trying to get a better offer, and you pretty much had the best you were going to get. But today would be the day where you would actually make the exchange. So you can do that at whatever point you like.
I'm also going to have to purchase a waterproof bag.
All right.
Oil rubbed leather.
Yeah, there's something.
I have no idea how expensive that's going to be.
Easy enough to find.
Right. We can leave that later, though.
So let's go down the list. We'll start with Rogers.
Daring.
Whatever.
All right, I will comply with Wilhelmina's wishes on what she wants her quote-unquote husband to wear.
Well, we know who wears the
And
pants in that family.
Shut up. And during the process, being careful not to be overheard, I will try to find out more about what this is about.
Well, in the periods between being measured and all that, find a spot or two to get in a word, and she will let you know that she has a contact that said that he had intercepted a letter of great importance, and she has not been in a position to actually speak to the guy about the contents because he's been under constant observation here, and they're having to be very careful not to give away his position.
Okay. And I'll also let her know that I have a couple of people that I can trust, but that I'd like to be able to tell them more about what they're on the lookout for, if possible.
Well, if that letter is as important as the contact seems to indicate, then her expectation is that there will certainly be other people after it. So chances are pretty good we're going to see lurkers about.
Very well.
So she is going to get you set up with a new suit. That is normally 40% of one's cost of living for a status 1. Or rather, let me rephrase that. It's 20% of your cost of living, but status 1 in this case. So it's 40% of yours, which comes to like 480 GURPS. But she's covering it. And that kind of weirds you out a little bit because she's just throwing money around.
Dude, you're a kept man.
I'm okay with that.
So the overall the suit cost 8 pistoles, which are the French gold coins.
Wow.
Now I did have a question whether or not you would wear a wig.
For the occasion, yes. Normally, no.
Certain characters have a thing about wigs.
I think that's not characters so much as players.
Sort of inspired by certain players who have a thing about wearing wigs.
Yeah, no. Rogers understands that certain formal occasions call for such things, and being only a lieutenant, he's never had to deal with it before. But certainly, as someone who hoped to be a captain one day, he knew it was a possibility.
I think the lieutenant would occasionally end up wearing a wig.
Oh, formal occasions?
Probably, yeah. I'm guessing.
Okay.
But I don't know.
But yeah, he has no
I wouldn't
problem
think
with
it'd be that weird, though. Yeah, okay. That will be fine. Also, in little bits and pieces during the day, she will sort of randomly bring up, by the way, your old buddy, she says, and you can hear the quotes, Killer Kane. I've heard whispers he's in Havana. Him and that girl he's with, what's her name? Ardala. And she asked if you have any idea why he would be there.
It took me a second there.
No, I honestly didn't even know that they were in this part of the world.
Interesting. Well, if something occurs to you, let me know.
I'll do that.
Let's see who's next. Let's go to Randall.
Going to go get this stuff sold and taken care of so we don't have to deal with it.
All right, you gonna take anybody with you?
Someone tough like Palangi, because there might be money that I got to carry around.
Is Palange going back to work?
That was his idea, but
yeah, I kind of figured.
Captain says no, then Captain says no.
Palange apparently ran off.
Then I'll take where are our crew? I need to get that crew up.
All right,
I'll take Red.
All right, you grab Red.
Nice.
Okay, so you guys go back to the ship. So you've already talked to the guy before yesterday, agreed to the price, and now you got to go get it loaded onto the boat. So you grab a few crew guys and you get the cockboat loaded up. And as you are starting to row back to the docks, you notice that there is a longboat headed your direction with a bunch of very French-looking fellows, very officious-looking French fellows, and they're yelling at you to stop.
How do we pretend to not see them?
You've been around the block enough times to know that is a customs vessel.
Very well. I guess heave to.
So they come over. Where is that? I've lost that place in the notes. Where are you?
Not there. Over there.
Stop it.
You're looking in the wrong place.
Clearly. Okay. Yeah. So they look over your cargo, ask about your papers, and you are very clearly an English ship. And they say you will not be bringing this into port.
And is that known as to why? Or is
Standard practice. English do the same thing. The only ones that don't do that are Dutch. Dutch have free commerce, so they don't charge anybody.
The Dutch are better.
Wait, I thought we sold this stuff.
You talk to a guy who's willing to buy it. He was probably assuming that you would have cleared customs, and generally that's your responsibility to do that. Being that you probably didn't even think about it until just now. Having said that, you can. I won't make you roll that. You've been around this block enough times to know that bribes are customary. And while you're thinking about that, I also wanted to bring up, because I haven't the entire freaking game, is that you guys have plot points. So technically you could use one here.
Anyone have any argument against using it?
No.
I could come up with an argument if it would make you feel better.
I kind of expected not. So we will knock off one planning point. And so you planned you planned ahead for this eventuality and probably had a couple of shillings set aside for potential customs bribes.
I seem to have dropped these shillings.
Are these yours?
Why, yes. That seems to be your papers are in order. I was mistaken.
Like you hand over the papers with the shillings on top of it.
So yeah, you guys had that discussion about customs before, and you were ready for this eventuality. So you clear customs without any further bother, and are able to get the goods offloaded to the guy and get paid. Now, I believe you had already put out the word for freight or passengers. And for the record, if you guys want to get some freight or passengers, you could use a plot point for that as well. But in the meantime, I believe you made those rolls already.
Yep. You'll have to look at last week to see what we rolled.
The only other consideration here is, well, provisions. That's kind of a separate thing. But if you're looking for more speculative cargo to purchase here to be sold later. And on that note, you are headed to New Providence, Nassau, and you know that they've got exactly jack shit over there, which means that they need everything, but that also means they're not going to be able to pay for a whole lot.
So the most basic of stuff at the cheapest we can buy it, because they'll pay cheaply.
Now, here in Port-au-Pay, you know that, scrolling, they have a lot of tobacco and food here, and that manufacturing goods were in demand here, which is why you were able to sell it for a good price. You also are becoming painfully aware that getting booze here is probably a losing proposition.
Why?
Well, at some point you'll end up asking around, but the Port-au-Pay is a Huguenot territory, so they're very Protestant Calvinist, I believe is the
Calvinist.
yeah, they don't do drinking here, so basically
That's
all the
actually
bars
not
and brothels
true.
and stuff,
I don't.
all the bars and brothels and stuff here are basically catering to the sailors coming in and out, and not much to the locals, so there's a little to be desired in that regard.
Well,
so
probably best to try and take Nassau. You said Nassau, right? Food stuff. Probably easy to offload.
Maybe, yeah.
Where's our next destination after?
Your next plan was Havana after that. And getting through customs in Havana is going to be tough. Anyway,
Where's the
I will.
map? I can't find the map.
Since
area
Payne is actually aware that you guys are going to be staying a day later than normal, so he could actually take a little while to consider, dig around.
Right.
And you could just take whatever you find, and maybe that'll be good enough.
Yeah, it's probably going to be for the best.
Whatever you can get a good deal on. All right, who's next? Hayden, what are you up to today?
Well, Hayden will be primarily waiting around for Rogers to come fetch him for whatever mysterious thing he's got.
Well, you know that's not going to be till the next day, or technically the next evening, so you've got a while. But you know that you'll be able to see him around town, running about with some woman you don't recognize.
Who's this Rogers person you're referring to? Do you mean Deering?
Shut up.
Hayden's actually going to,
He hadn't
since there's
actually
lots of
announced that
churches, Hayden's going to go to church, and he's going to get his fill of religion.
Unfortunately, it's Tuesday.
So it's Catholic. Calvinists, right.
Doesn't mean-
Churches themselves may still be, some of them may still be open.
You're going to get your fill. What are you going to do with the other 23 hours and 59 minutes of the day?
At the very least, he could go into a church and pray there or whatever. Talk to the priest, that sort of thing.
Still do. I think they still do confession.
Yeah, I can never remember what their deal is exactly. I think they're no.
Because Lutherans were the first one, the first breakaways, and they are basically Catholic light. They do everything Catholics do, except presume that the Pope actually is important, as I recall from my history studies. But
yeah, I'm not going to go look it up. But I would expect that you could potentially find a Catholic church here. It's
we're
just not gonna
British,
be very
so
popular.
this is in the 1700s, so it should.
Well, that's
we're
true.
not.
You wouldn't.
Yeah.
Your religion at this point is Anglican.
Church
I
of
think, is what we
England.
have it listed. So basically, everything around here is going to be a little weird to you.
Well, he goes
But
to
God
the
is
place
God.
anyway, and he'll take a spot in the pews and pray pray that he finds his son before God takes him. So he asks God for a favor just to keep him around here for a little bit longer, or long enough to find his son.
You have the points to spend on the favor?
I do.
What's the cost for all powerful?
Aren't all favors 1 point?
I don't think so. All right, what happens to Hayden? Page of Swords.
Got attacked by a page.
The priest at the church that you ended up at is a young guy, and he sees your Navy type uniform, and he's French, but he's very interested in military naval matters, and he comes over to you talking about religious stuff, but he keeps going off on these Navy tangents, just asking about life at sea and that sort of thing.
Does he speak English?
Mostly accented.
Quick, impress him as the what is it, chaplain? Sorry, you're coming with us. What?
Since it appears that he's not going to get much, quiet prayer in, he'll sit down with the guy and just start talking about Navy life. He will indulge this guy in stories of the sea. He's gonna make a friend.
He's gonna end up breaking down and sobbing because this dude's like super awesome. He's using like super reverse psychology on you.
He is a British Navy officer. He will not cry. So I cry for him.
So that means I didn't say who he was when I said he's going to break down and sob. Could be the priest. The priest
Mr. Spenser.
is going to show up bright and early at Jeffra, whatever the hell, I can't pronounce it because I'm not French. His door and
Jeffrey
knock
is
on
fine.
it. It's gonna end up waking him up.
Actually, what you will do is when you get to the hotel where he was staying, you'll find he and Dora are downstairs taking breakfast.
Good,
And
not dead.
he doesn't look as injured as he did yesterday, although his shirt is still a bit of a mess.
You look better than I was expecting you to look.
I'm not sure how to take that.
Those injuries were quite life-threatening, sir.
I found your friend here to be quite the conversationalist.
It's totally gonna look at her like, really?
She tells me everything I want to hear.
Ah, I see.
And
Perhaps
she
you can tell me
doesn't understand
something
what he's saying.
Why not? Maybe we're speaking in Dutch.
Well, he wasn't speaking in Dutch at that point.
I'm going to have accidentally slipped into Dutch because one of my quirks is sometimes gets confused which language he should use when he's speaking to someone.
Yeah, it's odd now that Geoffroy seems to speak that Dutch rather fluently, with a hint of an accent.
Hey, and I actually noticed that. Perhaps you could tell me something that I would like to hear. Do you know anything about this book, by chance?
You show him the book, and he's like, "Oh, I've seen this before." And he sort of takes the book and he starts thumbing through it. It's like, "Yes, I think it was back in London. It was in someone's collection that I interacted with. I believe he sold it to a Dutchman, Van Haas, or was it that he worked for Van Haas? I don't remember. I believe he lived in Curacao.
How do you pronounce Van Haas? Or spell it. And where is the place that he lived?
Curacao.
Where the heck is that?
Let's see. What is your you had area knowledge of the Caribbean, did you?
No,
It's
I got King's.
quite a bit
Okay,
south,
yeah.
north of.
So he'll have to explain that to you a little bit, but yeah, it's down south toward the it's down south toward New Spain. Or is New Spain actually Mexico in this case? I don't remember exactly.
So you got it in London, but he lived there.
Right, yes. No, this friend of mine back in London, he had a rather large library, and I would visit him often. And I remember this book because there's this picture on this page here. This woman, she reminds me of someone I used to know. Only, this is strange though. Here she's holding a candlestick, but I specifically remember her holding a sword.
That is interesting. I'm going to have to take a note of that.
And he considers for a moment and sort of leans back and focuses sort of meditatively, and then returns to the book very slowly and starts thumbing through the pages. He says, "This one, and this one, and this one." And he's pointing to all these pictures in the book. These are all different.
So she was. I understand now. She was right. It is a code.
And as he's still in that zone, he looks up at Dora for a second and just jumps. And in Dutch, says, "What the devil are you?"
She's Dora.
And she looks at him when he says that, and she just puts her finger to her lips and winks at him.
Spenser is going to be like looking between the two, that long, like, that. What was that? What just happened?
Ignore that. I saw nothing.
This is like along the lines of what the old lady told me about you.
Old lady?
Yes, he's like struggling to remember her name because he's absent-minded. Cassandra!
Oh, I
think that
don't
was
know
her
any
name.
Cassandra. I don't know why she would know me.
She's the Oracle.
Well, she was very oracle-like for me, and she said you knew things, but not as much as you think you do.
Oh, I think I know quite a lot.
And for some reason, I envision her chuckling as you say that.
So he will show you a passage in the book. And you've always taken this passage as to be sort of allegorical. And while it is still true, he's showing you how it's actually sort of a spell.
Huh.
And at this point, I would allow you to spend to pick up Majory.
Dun dun dun. Which one is it? Is it the RPM Majory?
Just take the standard for now, and we might have to deal with the specifics later. But essentially what he's just shown you is how to do sense magic.
That's going to be Majory 0.
Now, I don't care at this point if you pick it up at 0 or if you pick it up at a higher level. If
Well,
you
I
end up
don't
at a higher
have
level
that.
later, then you could just say it's sort of latent. At this point, you kind of got a control collar on anyway.
Sense magic.
And by sense magic, I just mean the basic.
Right.
And in the process of him doing this, you're looking at him funny, and he will admit that, yes, he is in fact a hedge wizard.
So you can see things that other people can't see.
Sometimes.
And I'm
He'll-
totally going to be looking at Dora.
He'll show you another trick. He'll take a pinch of gunpowder in his fingers and snap his fingers, and it lights.
That's potentially handy. I shudder to think what someone like Mr. Perlange would do with that.
Speaking of,
Ha ha! Nice segue.
Mr. Planche has a pleasant day at work.
Excellent.
Oddly enough, the gunsmith continues to put him to work doing basically the same thing he was doing yesterday. It's all journeyman work, but technically you could claim this as experience if you wanted to get into the gunsmith's guild and boom, steal somebody's hat.
As he does.
As he does. All right, well, I will have everyone roll a perception check at -2.
Box or no?
Now, well, box it. Wow, gonna be like that today.
To be fair, I'm starting out low. I think with your -2, that puts my effective perception at 7.
We're missing somebody. It's Randall, who is asleep. Okay, well, you will see nothing. Yeah. Okay, so during the day, while Lieutenant Rogers and his wife are wandering
Lieutenant
about
Daring.
town buying things, you guys also she'll secure the use of a coach for tomorrow.
Fancy.
And
she is
I don't
just throwing the
I don't think I
money around.
actually mentioned it before, but this was going to be at a plantation house somewhere outside of town.
Okay.
So not in town. And while you guys were running about buying things and playing pretend, you did see from time to time people lurking.
I'll make a note of them in case I see them again.
Maybe the same guy. It was just a couple of times, and you didn't see real well, but you saw something, and you're pretty sure you were being watched. Mr. Spenser, on the other hand, ran into a guy who was paying a little too close attention.
I say, good sir, are you all right?
And as soon as you start speaking to the guy, he just turns around and bolts.
Wait, that wasn't finished. I wanted to... I'm not thinking, where's that at? Don't I have that? to make sure this is the right skill. What did he look like? That's never mind. I don't have the appropriate skill.
What were you thinking?
I was contemplating picking. Trying to pick his pocket.
Oh.
Ooh,
No,
hey,
he
yeah.
was fairly generic looking to you. Simple, I would say. He didn't have much. His clothing was very simple, very low status. He was wearing a hood.
Oh man, I am really tempted right now to utilize serendipity and have him have dropped something that identifies them.
Will.
How tempted am I to do that? Sure. I think that's potentially interesting. Where it's like runs into somebody and or runs into him, and because of that, it causes the guy to drop something that's going to allow them or him to be identified. I have no idea what that would be in this time period.
Okay, so when you ran into the guy, basically, and your hand, finger, whatever, caught the his collar, basically,
Right,
or
right.
near to his collar, and as he turned to bolt, you felt the snap of a necklace of some kind, and in your hand you have some kind of symbol, pendant thing. You've never seen it before.
Huh. Weird. Not thinking anything of it, he just may pocket it and wander off. Wait, that fellow was following me.
He was, in fact, following you.
Why would he do that? I'm not doing anything to be followed for.
A bit later, you will return to your hotel and find that the room has been trashed.
Exclaim loudly and angrily and bring up the innkeeper dude or the hotel manager or whatever they're called at this point.
No one in the hotel has any idea what the hell happened, but they did hear some bumping about.
Is this the sort of hospitality we can presume?
Okay, well, apparently they didn't like you all that much. So they're blaming you for that.
It's not my fault.
Exactly what the person who did it would say.
Well, you've managed to not get charged for the damage, but
Well, I think he's at this
you
point.
may not get your security deposit back.
He's gonna likely seek out Sir Randall and let him know, hey, what the heck? The room got tossed. Probably want to check yours. So I was being I was followed by a dude, and he seemed to have dropped this thing. And it's entirely possible Sir Randall is there with Captain Hayden, and maybe even good old Solomon.
All right. Yeah. That's terrible. So I'll definitely run and head back and check the status of my room, and knowing that I should have my journal on me at all times. Check that, but
none of the others have received such a visit.
what were they looking for? What do you think they were looking for?
Probably my book of magic.
Right. Well, they didn't get it. This book, did they?
No, I'm carrying it in my bag.
Good place for it, just like my journal. I keep it up with me at all times.
Right. Yeah, I learned that from you. I learned it from you.
I learned it from watching you.
All right. Anybody else doing anything for day 2?
Does anybody recognize the chain doohickey thing?
Nobody has seen it. Geoffroy has not seen it before either.
Okay.
He's like, what the hell is that?
What's it look like?
It looks like an amorphous blob.
Wow.
That may materialize into something later.
It's gonna look like the Behelit from Berserk.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. Okay. So, am I missing anything? Oh, so Randall was going to get the best deal. I want to go ahead and make a roll for that, which I believe will be based on merchant.
Oh, right. Well, that was was I assisting him with that? I don't know.
Well, no, he's sort of going around all day doing that, so
Yeah, then probably
technically
not.
you could.
Okay, then if that's the case, then I will attempt to assist him. Barely successful.
All right. Where's merchant?
So this is that
sorry.
search takes 1 day, so you could take 2 days to find it. But that does
Sorry.
mean that on day 3 you might be otherwise occupied.
Sorry, I ended up clicking it twice and I didn't add the modifier.
Oh, sorry.
So that should be with a +1 by 5.
Let's see, and that would have been a -1. Okay, so you got that and that. Okay, I believe that means you have found 2 lots that you could potentially buy. And let's say, since you were leaning toward some kind of foodstuffs, we'll say both of those lots are 2 different kinds of foodstuffs.
Sounds good.
Actually, no, I take that back. So one of them is going to be some kind of food like grain, some kind of plantable thing, probably not actual perishable food. And the other one will be tobacco. So you've got a place where you could get a reasonable price on tobacco. So do you have a pick at this point, or you want to just roll for the price and see how that goes?
You should buy them both.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just buying it.
Depending. So I made the table this time.
Huzzah!
Right, any modifiers?
Speaking of tables,
not at this point.
Completely off topic. Briefly, I just totally made a table of those chase cards from Traveler.
That's cool.
Where
So
were
no
you
modifiers, straight roll?
Yeah, straight roll.
Daniel, where are you getting the various prices for stuff in this time period? Is it
That
just
depends.
random research?
It's either random research or some material that I have here available, depending. Some things have more
I was just
records than
wondering
others.
about I was wondering about the bag thing.
Oh, that. Now that one I think you could probably go to. Actually, there might be a waterproof bag in one of the. I'd have to check. I'll find out for you. It won't be that much, I would think. Okay, so that's for the grain.
The food.
So roll again for the tobacco.
And this is how much you're paying?
This is the price that they are selling it for.
You need to roll a 3. Wait, how do you roll a 3? You couldn't roll a 3. Oh, right. Yeah, you can. Roll a 1 on the die.
Nope.
That's terrible.
Looks like the grain is probably your better bet. Now, at that point, you can roll merchant to talk them down.
Merchant to talk about.
All right. Well, you've got him fairly convinced that he can't do a whole lot better. So
you're willing to take it off his hands, so
knock another 10% off of that. That gets you 80.
Take it.
So that means you will be buying. I'm going to have to put that on a different line, though. I'll put it on the sugar column, I guess. So that'll be, how many tons do you want to buy of that? So food is going to be around 500 GURPS per ton, and you could potentially get quite a bit of that, actually. But you're pretty sure you're not going to be able to sell a whole lot.
Yeah, I don't want to fill our holds with a ton of stuff that's going to be hard to sell.
And just for mechanical purposes, I'll tell you that at Nassau, you're not going to be able to sell more than 1 ton.
And probably not sell anything at Havana, you were saying, because
that's going to be
Spanish.
tricky. Yeah. I mean,
well,
you can.
I don't mind smuggling it.
Yeah, if you guys are cool with smuggling, that's a whole other matter.
But, I mean, is food stuff something that Havana is going to be in even need of? And is it worth
Havana,
smuggling food? Yeah.
Havana,
so So for now, let's just go with the ton that we're reasonably sure we can get rid of.
All right, so if that's going to be 500, you're getting that at 80%, which will be 400. Not bad. 1 ton purchased at 400. All right, and I'm going to make a note of that later, but I will at least write down what that is. Grain. All right, you have made arrangements with a guy to take a ton of grain. You feel like you've accomplished something. What'd that be, about 4 pounds? All right. If nobody else has anything to do, given you have 2 people who have observed people lurking about, are you changing your evening patterns at all?
We implement the buddy rule. One goes alone.
It sounds like Article may need a new hotel room.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe retreat to the boat.
Or that.
Although I'm probably going to be spending as much time chatting with Jeffrey about, well, the book as I can, because I know eventually he's going to totally bail on us. I don't know why I know that. I just have a suspicion.
Well, so what would probably happen to you then is you end up hanging out with Shafra in the tavern or whatnot, wherever it is that he's hanging out, and stay up all bloody night.
Again.
And by God, if he can't protect you.
What? What's this about protection?
Right. So, and what about Roger's sleeping arrangements?
Deering. Sleeps with his wife, doesn't he?
He's going to go sleep on the couch.
He'll try to play it. Well, let's see.
It's like, wherever shall I sleep?
I guess that's the question: is does he bring it up first, or does he wait for her to?
Which one was the big map?
Lecherousness 12 or less. Roll to 7.
Well, he's got control of himself.
But does he want to have control of that?
Yeah, he'll be a gentleman if possible.
He tries. All right, so yeah, she will offer him some couch or something. We'll figure it out.
All right.
But yeah, Wednesday, 31st of January. It's kind of an important date because tomorrow is John Hayden's first death check.
I totally want him to see you roll an 18 just to see what happens. I like the character. I mean, because how can you not like Captain Aubrey? It's just I don't think I've ever seen anybody with that disad actually fail it, and then like, well, all right, guys, my character's dead.
All right, so all the crewmen were perfectly happy to stay another day ashore. Let's see. Provisions still need to be purchased for the next trip, or the next leg of the trip, and the shindig is in the evening, so you've got all day before that happens. And I guess the next question, Davino, is he going to go back to the gunsmith for a 3rd day?
Why not?
Wow, he's not very exciting. He needs to have exciting
so right
things
now
happen to him.
Right now he's up to 6 levers, which is 8 shillings worth.
You realize you're working on a cannon that's going to be used against us.
That's why he's built in a fatal flaw where one shot blows the whole thing up.
It's true.
I know the smell of that gunpowder. It's one of my guns.
I always did add some citrus to the powder mix.
No, it's funny that there's that whole thing about Blackbeard putting gunpowder in his rum. Apparently, that's not unusual. So for the early part of the day before the thing happens, what have we got?
Has Hayden managed to convince this priest to leave the priesthood and join the service?
No, he has not.
Dang. Maybe he's convinced him to leave that priest or that church and come with us.
He did talk your ear off.
Apparently for a whole day and night.
Oh, right. And Randall was going to end up making the arrangements for getting the new cargo loaded. So he's got a little bit to do today. Tell you what, let's take a quick break. It seems like as good a spot as any.
All right.
Taking 5.
Take it 5.
3 more triangles.
We're back.
All right. So this was Wednesday 31st, day 3. Payne and Spenser were dealing with cargo-related stuff during the day. Palange went back to work with the gunsmith for the day. Rogers, I suppose, is probably hanging out with his wife, quote unquote, for the day,
Oh, yeah.
doing whatever they do. And Hayden is doing what?
He's going to the bathhouse to get himself scrubbed up for the shindig.
He's
All
coughing a
right.
lot.
Now, Lieutenant Rogers will be
Deering,
discussing things here and there with Miss Deering, and she will broach the question of what exactly Mr. Payne and Mr. Hayden will be doing as far as the cover situation goes.
That's Sir Randall, not Mr.
She will suggest that they could potentially pose as servants.
I don't think they would disagree to that. And they might be able to gather valuable information from the other gathered servants.
Think you broke Mark.
Indeed.
You did. You broke him.
I guess he wasn't ready for that.
Nope.
All right. So at some point later, you guys will be informed of your roles.
It's a suggestion.
How about what I could do is go find a date for this shindig?
Well, as long as you can find one who's already invited, I suppose that would work.
Trixie. But probably not impossible. He might have to pass off his duties to someone else and spend the day trying to get that invitation.
Yep, that's what I'm doing. We have other crew, right?
What would that be? That's not going to be streetwise.
Carousing,
Savoir-faire, high society.
Savoir-faire, high society.
That might actually be the one.
All right.
I'd be willing to go with that. And you
Savoir-faire,
can use
Navy or
use
military
carousing to
might
get the
stand
+2 on that.
All right. Here goes nothing. I'm going to try for the +2. I'm going to attempt +2. If I fail this, though, it's a negative, right? Or can I do, since I'm trying to get a date, go with the sex appeal instead of the carousing?
Well, the trick there is you have to find who's on the list because you have no idea.
All right, I'll go with carousing.
But you could potentially use the sex appeal as another assist on that. Okay, well, you got that part.
So I'll find some potential ladies, or actually, I'll say this after and high society. Oh, that should have a +2. Sorry, so success by 7.
Ah, damn, that's not bad. All right, well, let's see what you found.
I will luck this roll.
Oh, you know what? This should be a universe roll, I think. So the quality level of your company.
I understand. Oh! I'm totally. Oh!
No, don't like it.
Well, you know what makes it so much better though is yes, I get in, and I'm like, but I'm in, and I don't have to be a servant. I don't have to bring myself to that level. Yep,
Are we taking it then?
I guess we're taking it.
So your
I
date
think
Why
is
is
this,
working
it
girl.
bad?
I think this needs a little tarot embellishment.
Ah, good call.
And the drum roll, please. Ooh, that doesn't look good.
Is it the tower? Be the tower.
Oh, okay. No, that looked it looked worse than it might be. Hang on. So that would be looks like a 3 of Pentacles reversed. It just looks really dark. 3 pence. Well, yeah. That stands to reason, I guess. Okay. So the question is, what manner of date did he manage to pull off? And that would mean that it's going to be a noble woman of some kind, obviously, or she wouldn't be invited. I would say probably the daughter of someone higher up. And in this case, she's kind of doesn't really give a shit.
Cool. So that means I can kind of leave her.
It's not how do you classify that? She's like the teenager. She's like the grumpy teenage daughter. Actually, she might actually be a teenager. Give that a D10 plus 10.
Good God, Payne. Let the paint dry at least.
Yeah, she's 19. She's a grumpy tween,
He's in between marriages.
and she's not really trying very hard. So once you end up picking her up, you'll see she's not bothered with a lot of the makeup, and the wig's not really as combed as it probably ought to be. Not up to your usual standards.
But I'm not pretending to be a servant.
So that means Sir Randall needs to do sexy good times to make her care. And so he'll have one in the port later.
That's true. He doesn't have one yet, but it's a big party. Who knows? All right. Well, what about Hayden?
Hayden's going stag. He'll actually no, his courtesy rank and stuff wouldn't matter here.
Well, no, he's still not got an invitation, so he's either going to have to come in as a servant or he's going to have to figure something out.
He'll come in as a servant. This was a request from Rogers and
Daring.
and
Let's
57.
see. Does,
Thanks, John. Oh, you won.
Have you actually told him the situation yet, though?
Yeah, we ran into each other at some point. You said that he
We were at the
saw
I mean, about the
Rogers
being
around
married.
town. Yeah, so I'm going to tell him the ruse.
Okay.
That she's supposed to take delivery of something that's important, but she doesn't know exactly what it is, and she thinks other people are after it. And so we're going to be on the lookout for other people to try to maybe intercept it or intercept her. And so for appearance's sake, I'm going to pose as Lieutenant Deering instead of Lieutenant Rogers. So just call me Bill. Just to make it simple, don't call me by my last name at all. So no slip-ups are possible.
If he's a servant, he should be referring to you as Sir.
Yeah, shut up. That too. But yeah, I'll fill him in on those details.
Now,
such as they are.
I'm betting that Hayden does not have a savoir-faire servant.
He does not.
So he may have to default that. He's got a pretty high savoir-faire to begin with, so.
Having been a Navy captain, though, he's had a personal butler.
Yeah,
at some point in getting to captain, he would have done many dining in nights.
For sure.
All right, well, he's going to have to secure probably a coat or something. He might be able to borrow something to make that work.
You guys know what a dining in night?
Playing the part. Yeah.
It's all catered for by the grunts.
Lower officers, yeah, midshipmen and whatnot.
Yeah, you can make it work. So what does that actually default to? Embeddedness, not that bad. And I guess pain does not need to know.
I do fill pain in on the same details, though, of course.
Right.
So primarily, we're trying to keep anything from bad from happening to her, or
Yeah,
interrupting
and
the transfer.
Exactly. Keep anyone from preventing the exchange that's supposed to occur.
High society and servant
at
default to one
-2.
another -2. I don't
What's
think
really
military.
gonna be funny? I'm gonna finally meet Miss Deering and realize that they're not really married. Well, hello.
It doesn't specifically list any defaults from savoir-faire military to servant, but given what you were just talking about, I think it's probably reasonable to say there is one. We'll call it a -4.
Okay. And
Which
Hayden
in
will
your
definitely
case is still
try
pretty
not to behave very officer-like.
To the extent that he can help it. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that quirk where he looks like a naval officer all the time.
Epitome.
Yeah.
If possible, I'd like to assist by having him be, not like a subservient servant, but like an old shipmate who just happens to be a lower rank, and they're always together.
Well, you got
Sort of
time to
deal.
work out your story if you're going to work out a story.
Just to make it easier on him.
And if you're going to make any other sort of plans, you can do that too.
Any of the caca, tookie kind of calls.
Do you guys think we need any kind of like signals or a rendezvous point or anything like that?
Well, the rendezvous point's always going to be the ship, so we can make a quick getaway from whatever terrible things we're going to do here.
If you're having to sail away from this in a hurry, then something's definitely gone horribly wrong.
You obviously don't know PCs all that well then, do you?
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, that was a dumb comment. Now we're gonna see. Okay, how do we mess this up? And Daniel's like,
I didn't
well-
say it wasn't possible. I just said something would have to go horribly wrong.
and I'm gonna have to go. Guys, I just heard a really loud crash. I think Daniel just flipped his table. Let me go check.
Okay, so no other particular arrangements, just a general awareness of that something very important needs to change hands, and some people may try to prevent it or intercept it.
So are you just taking one servant then?
Oh, well, yeah, Payne is there with the date, but he'll be on the lookout as well.
Cool.
I don't know, does Spencer want to go?
Spencer's probably not even aware that this is happening.
He won't be unless somebody cuts him in, but
And that's perfectly fine with me because
on the other hand, if he hadn't used serendipity already today, he could have used that to end up there accidentally.
And it is a fairly small town. You could hear about it and try to get yourself invited independently.
Well,
I'm absent-minded.
now he will have probably
Oh,
seen
hey, something's
Rogers
going on.
and Deering together in town all over the place and started wondering who's that?
Who's that?
Who's
Oh,
that
yeah, I'm going to
girl?
go back and focus on my book.
He's still trying to light his fingers on fire.
He might be trying to do the flickum-bickus thing, yeah.
Evening will arrive.
Dang.
And-
Because, I was thinking it would have been really funny if Rogers had ended up bringing Spencer in there. He was going to always hereafter, address him as Deering.
That would be annoying but funny.
Yes,
Davino,
sir, Mr. Deering, sir.
Yes.
Davino will get paid again,
Excellent.
You got paid.
and you will probably be aware that you're probably sailing tomorrow, so you won't be back. Your temporary boss will be sad. You were a good worker
I thank him for the chance to work.
and excellent at picking up heavy things and putting them over there.
It is one of my many talents. Oh, and by the way, here's this wrench that Boom picked up yesterday.
And the hat.
And the hammer.
And the hat.
And the other hammer. And is this your monocle, or is it somebody else's?
Let's see. So, at some point, Rogers and Deering will go to the coach, where Hayden will meet them.
You mean Mr. and Mrs. Deering?
Mr. and Mrs. Deering will meet Hayden,
Get it right.
their servant, Jeeves, at the at the coach,
John.
where quite separately, Sir Randall and his date will meet up at a different coach and take it out to the plantation.
After he gets her up from her nap.
Yeah, but I'm not going as a servant. It's still a win.
Dude, Mark, if you want to totally mess it up, you should make Spenser come as your one of your servants.
Well, hey.
But what about Davino?
Well, Davino's
We
been
can't
off
find
running.
him.
He
keeps
working.
disappearing. We're convinced he's like a freaking warrant officer.
He's yeah. Well, he is. That's exactly what he is. He's
Like, all right, we got a
officer.
detail. We need this filled. And we'll turn around and Davino is gone.
Gone.
Yeah, but it's weird.
Stairwell door closes.
He's always got money in his purse.
Well,
Maybe he's
he
selling
is a
himself.
monster hunter, or at least that's what he's passing himself. So maybe he's out hunting monsters.
Dude, yeah, he's so you need to start running around saying fuck all the time and get a chain and 2 swords and
Growling.
Rename
You know,
Boom
he
to
actually talks in the books. You know, it's like he actually holds pretty good conversations. And it's a rather learned individual in the books. I'm really surprised that they just kind of seem to dumb him down.
He wasn't that bad.
Dumbed who down now?
The Witcher.
Oh, yeah. I've only watched the first episode of it. I thought it was dumb.
I liked it.
I haven't played the games, though, so I was a little bit lost.
I haven't played the games either. I've only been reading the books.
I haven't
Isn't
played
that
the
a
games,
trope,
but I was
though?
familiar with them at least.
Isn't that a common trope that the hero is like really, broody?
I don't know if I'd call that a trope necessarily across the board.
It's common.
So this place is French.
It is French.
And
Okay,
that's
so,
why, and that's why Spencer's
Randall's-
because he speaks fluent French.
Well,
And I'll
it's
say
still
he's my
accented.
servant. I'll say he's my servant, but I won't actually
I should
treat him like a
improve
servant. I just gotta like bring him to the party. This is what I do. He's like my best friend, so
Oh, you
it
know what?
almost feel weird.
And this
not
is going to
bring
be great because once he finds out that Lieutenant Rogers is Lieutenant Deering. Ha ha ha!
No, what's even more amusing is Randall will forget to actually tell Spencer that Rogers is not Rogers. But
I would like for some of the last couple of days spent with Mrs. Deering to have been spent in remediation of some basic French and spend a point to take broken.
I think that's probably reasonable.
Sweet.
You've had enough French around you this whole time that you could probably pull off at least a few words. Although I realized the other day this is actually the first French port you've stopped at.
Huh,
so
that's
standard
weird.
SOP is generally Spencer is always kind of there because, hey,
All right. Well, if Spencer's going along, what is he doing with the book?
What are you talking about? He's a doctor. He's a surgeon. Wait, I don't remember which one is higher prestige. One of them is actually higher prestige in this time period. Doctor or physician or surgeon. And I can't remember which.
Well, I don't think a doctor or a surgeon is going to be a servant to a nobleman.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, he's totally going to be keeping the book.
So he's going to
Well-
carry it around on his person.
like that. Is he your servant? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think so. It's he's got the bag, so it's there. And I have other stuff that belongs to Randall in the bag.
Like the guy in Veep who carries around the bag of all the Veep's necessities.
Yeah, I'm not familiar, but that sort of thing, I think. Yeah.
It's a
Sounds
funny
right.
show.
Or somebody looks at the bag and it's like, what? And then, he pulls something out and hands it to Randall. It's like, okay.
Well, you arrive at the plantation. It is very large and it is very populated right now with Frenchmen all over the damn place.
Somebody forgot to spray.
Very good, Mr. Garen.
And you guys arrive separately. You know what? Let's get universe rolls for the two parties.
I'm lucky.
Oh,
in
boy.
that. Come on.
Fantastic.
Oh, you don't need to luck this
Okay.
one.
All right.
I
Maybe
do
I'll
have
get
to
all
look
these
something
bad
up real
rolls.
quick, though.
Well, no, these are good rolls, though.
I have a suggestion. Being British, we are politely early, but the French expect you to be fashionably late. So it's actually rude to be early.
Well, whatever. Okay,
I
who's
kind of like that. That's funny.
which one's which here? So you got you're both poor. That's funny.
Yeah, hence my
let's
suggestion. Since we're all
see.
I was
British.
hoping for worse.
Okay, you guys only classify as a bit late.
Bit early.
So you might have tried to get there a bit early, but you ended up a bit late. At least in Randall's case, it was trying to get the girl outside because she honestly didn't want to friggin' go.
I'm only here because my parents said I have to be.
Exactly.
Only available male.
And the whole time she's like not really talking to you at all beyond the absolute necessities and just annoying as hell.
I'm picturing lots of eye rolling.
There's quite a lot of eye rolling.
And what's worse is she'll probably get all even more uppity if I were to talk to other women.
Well, if you wandered off, she might not even notice.
Even better.
If you have lecherous, I think you should roll it. Because that's a very real possibility.
Very good,
Damn it.
madam.
Oh.
Oh no,
As you say,
that's high
ma'am.
society.
Apparently, she likes Article, though.
Man who knows his proper place.
The most likable thing Spenser could probably do to her is not say anything at all.
Just point out people who look or do something ridiculous and laugh.
Yeah, that.
Comment how their dress is looking like crap compared to hers.
All right. Time for some cards.
I want to sew Mal Reynolds at this place.
This would be the place to Mal Reynolds it if you were going to do that.
That paints a picture.
Oh man, somebody
Captain
needs to get into a
Typeface.
duel.
Rogers is first on the list. You going to be sticking with your
It's
wife?
Gary, not Rogers. Sir,
Will you stop it?
I apologize, sir. Mr. Gearing, sir.
So yes, I will be sticking with Wilhelmina and engaging in all the courtesies and politenesses.
All right. Well, she will be showing you around, introducing you.
Bonjour. Bonjour. Bonjour.
Took me a second.
We all cringe every time he greets somebody. He was like,
Bonjour.
even us with accented, is kind of like nails.
I
on
don't know. I
chalkboard
just
look.
rolled a 3 on savoir-faire servant, and I'm in a French thing. I'm thinking about burning the 2 points to increase my French to fluent.
You end up running across or being introduced to a particular rich, snobby French guy who thinks he's all that in a bag of chips, wearing his sword, and he mentions that I hear you were in the Navy. He speaks passably good English.
Correct, sir. Monsieur.
And he asks he's
I
asking
love
all
how
about
you're
your
intentionally foobarring it. That's awesome, dude.
I only have it broken.
I know, but it's just so funny. Daniel, he needs a point for that.
That's true. He probably needs a penny for that.
Bonjour,
I haven't
monsieur.
given anybody bennies in forever.
Monsieur.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, Monsieur.
Monsieur.
Where did I put that anyway?
Oui, monsieur. Je m'appelle Navy.
And of course he wants to know all about your exploits in the Navy, and of course, as he does so, you've got the barely disguised disdain for the English Navy and the English in general. So he's not even trying not to be insulting,
Oh, yeah, that's all right.
but you can take it.
Yeah, stiff upper lip.
What the heck was that? Hold on. There's this. I gotta find it. It's like, oh, they're showing you their back. It's like, this is not the first time I'm seeing French. The French soldiers' backs.
Oh,
Trying
that
to
could be
remember
taken
who
a
that
number of
was.
ways. I wouldn't say that.
Now Hayden is following you guys.
Up to him.
Hayden will, but at servant distance. He will observe social distancing.
The social distance in this plantation house is fairly tight.
I think he just means distance from the Deerings.
Don't
In,
the servants kind of like hang out in the edges?
In Hayden's case, as he's keeping his distance and sort of snickering at the Frenchman being French over there, there's an older gentleman nearby at the buffet table or whatever is available here. I don't know how they do that, and he's just sort of casually
They
strikes
have
up a
servants
conversation about
come
that.
around there with that.
And he's a polite old French gentleman, speaks decent English, not great, and just asking you how you're doing, and which you find kind of weird because people don't normally talk to the servants that way.
Well, Hayden doesn't want to make things weird for anyone, so he'll just go along with it for now. He'll converse back.
You discover in the little bit of conversation that apparently this is the owner of the plantation.
In that case, Hayden will then
Val Reynolds it.
he will say, my mistake. I didn't realize that this was your plantation. Son.
For as long as he lives, anyway. So yeah, he'll give you a little bit of history about the house and all that and the family. You learn more about this place than you probably figured you were gonna.
Well, given that this is a man of influence and power, then Hayden's interest will change. He goes into intelligence gathering mode.
So do you bring up the Navy since there's a conversation about the Navy going on?
He will. He won't obviously divulge that he served, but he will certainly bring up that conversation, and he'll ask, because at some point he's fairly certain that the English will be shooting these guys again.
He will at some point in the conversation about the Navy bring up the fact that he had once actually met Jean-Baptiste Ducour, who you immediately recognize the name as a guy that the English also referred to as the Fox. He was a French privateer that was a pain in the English ass throughout the last war, or the previous war, I guess that would be. Last war they were allied, and he was still a pain in the ass. So you haven't heard that name in a while, and he happens to also mention that he had heard that he'd recently moved to Martinique.
That Montserrat Misty.
Exactly, it's Martinique. Where's the map?
Actually, you guys passed it on your way to St. Kitts. So, who's next? Randall.
Oh, I'm enjoying the party.
Now, have you basically left your date behind, or are you sticking with her?
I'm going to 50-50 that.
It would be most impolite of you to leave us, sir.
Oh, man.
Crap, now you got to deal with him.
Well,
Doesn't her dress look lovely today, sir?
quite lovely. She looks like she put so much effort into it. One cannot help but notice her dress.
Note to self: Rochambeau Dr. Spenser later.
Flickum Bickus. Now you're on fire. The boat was on fire and it wasn't my fault.
Let's see. I bring her drinks.
So you guys, that's what you like signal the servants here
I
to bring
have
drinks.
I have drinks brought.
He
Okay.
totally is gonna like signal for one, and Spencer's gonna like, and he's like, "Oh right, I need two."
Oddly enough, as the evening progresses for you, what you keep seeing is some French kid multiple times, not the same kid, different kids. And when I say kid, I mean tweeners. Will show up and sort of ignore you and just start talking to her.
Okay.
And of course, she's sort of trying to shrink away because she doesn't want to deal with this crap. But you get the impression she's sought after.
Roll psychology. I'm trying to figure. Is that even really necessary? It's like
Is that
I'm
really?
going to
Yeah, I don't know that that's necessarily necessary.
Try and win her trust and see if I can find out what's really going on.
What is your oh, okay.
My
You're trying
end
to get her
goal
to
is
open up.
Well, my end goal potentially is pawn her off on one of the other younger matchmaker thing, so I can pawn myself
Somebody her own
off
age.
on somebody else. Yeah.
Well, you've got enough experience with things like sex appeal and whatnot to realize that the fact that she keeps a certain amount of distance between the two of you is leading others to believe that you are not with her. And so she's attracting more attention than she probably is intended. And you don't get the impression she realizes that.
Then, in a moment,
What a lovely tune, sir.
I will take her to dance, and then I will talk. It's like, so I understand that you're drawing a lot more attention than you feel comfortable with. I understand that this isn't necessarily where you want to be. I'll say she does look lovely, but even if she didn't act, she seems to have tried. Kind of talk her up a bit while dancing with her, but also try and get her to understand that, hey, if this is not what you want, we can work together, as a team and make this work, where she doesn't have to interact if that's not what she wants, but also not draw the attention of every, hormone inflamed dude around here.
That
I don't know if
sounds
that's
a bit like
psychology.
Diplomacy.
Okay.
And since you have started this with dancing, I'm going to make that an assist, and that's going to be a forced assist. So if you suck,
You've got like dancing, right?
What's dancing default to?
Dex minus something.
Basic 187. Let's see.
Hold on, I got it here. I got GCA.
Dancing.
Dex
Dex minus 5.
What?
So, do you got any character points? Because you totally should have dancing.
I do.
He really, really should have dancing.
Why?
Because he's a freaking irritating
society.
nobleman.
Oh, yeah. That does make sense.
That would actually be really useful to add to the rule set, since you have default
Courtly
skills.
yeah, definitely.
Since you have,
You can figure out how to do defaults.
well, default skills are in the list, so there's an area to put defaults. Do it so that if you double click on a particular default, it will roll it if you have the skill at the default.
Oh, okay. I think I see what you're talking about. Yeah,
Oh,
maybe.
double clicking it in this list of all
Oh
skills.
no, that's actually a success by 3. Because I
It is?
put in the minus. I put in the -5.
Oh, right. Okay.
I was like, wait, an 8?
Gotcha. Okay, well, you didn't make it worse. All right, so diplomacy then. All right, well, you're fairly diplomatic. Is she fairly resistant? Okay, so you do the dance, and you don't step on her. And while you're dancing, you're trying to convince her to play the game a little better in the interest of diverting all that attention. And
And I'm
But
she
willing
girl
to
seems
help
to
her.
like your plan.
And I'm still actually willing to help her if she wants to achieve something here tonight too. If it's just not be bothered, I can help with that too.
She would very much like to not be bothered, and she will admit that all these guys, she knows all these guys, and they're all after her father's money, and now she's getting the impression that you're not, and she's kind of willing to, if you've got a good idea to get her out of this, then she'll listen.
Well, I'll tell her. Yeah, I'll make it plain. I'm really here for the adventure of it. It's like she is a lovely young lady, and she's lovelily dressed, and she's a great dancer, and all this. But ultimately, I'm here for the entertainment. So I think we can both be entertained here, and both achieve our goals. You get to enjoy the fun without having every Tom, Dick, and Larry throw themselves at you. And I will
Loa.
play, Louis, and I will play interference on that end. And all
Yep.
you have to do is
So what specifically are you trying to ask her to do?
just play.
Accompany
game.
him out to
Company?
the garden.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Okay, that'll work.
Are you going to leave behind a trophy? I'm
Well,
sorry.
not right
That was
now.
wrong.
We don't know how many trophies he's left behind already.
I mean, that's
You're
not.
playing Witcher 1 where you're trying to collect all the cards.
Trophies are normally taken away. You may be doing it wrong.
No, initially not so much that. Who knows? If I win that game, that I'm only slightly
a
playing on the
D-bag.
side. But
Well, let's
that's
see.
not
So
my intent.
Spenser
But that-
is keeping relatively close to the situation.
He's doing servanty things. I rolled a freaking 3 on that.
Right.
So,
What was that on?
savoir-faire high society with a -2
It
for
was
the
savoir
defaulting.
servant
Right.
defaulted
Yeah,
to high
it's-
society, right?
Yeah, correct.
So if any servants are acting weird or anything, he might pick up on that.
Yeah, with a 3. Holy crap.
I tell you what, I would like to get a roll for the Phantom Voices.
Okay.
It's kicking off.
And that's where it all went
There's
down.
Whoa.
there's enough going on here that it could start to trigger something. Let me see here. That is looking at the card. Let's see. Oh, really?
So that doesn't
Okay.
say 6 plus or 6 minus. Is that good or bad?
It's 6. It's 6 or less. It triggers on 6 or less.
So if right, okay, yeah. Sometimes they're backwards. I don't. Yeah, it's annoying. But yeah, in this case, so what? So that just means that you get voices at some point. All right. So what happens is you are playing tag along with Sir Randall and his date, and
Well, hanging out with
You're
him
going-
is really stressful.
you go back and forth because he keeps having you go get drinks and that sort of thing. So you're wandering off getting drinks, and you happen to see a lady and it's not that she looked like your wife, it's that she just kind of reminded you of your wife. And that kind of set you in a mood that suddenly the clock over there is talking to you and telling you you're running out of time.
I know I'm running out of time.
Time? Mr. Spenser? Is there is there something wrong with the time?
It's the clock. It won't shut up.
Right. They tend to do that. Tick, tick, tick. Anywho, and then I go back to talking to her.
Yeah, you've had enough incidences in the last couple of weeks. Starting to wonder about Article's health.
Ooh,
About
I
okay.
wonder if I can hook Spenser up with this young lady.
First thing I
That
want to
might
do
help
here.
with his mental health.
Yeah, that's true. First thing I want to do here is have everybody go ahead and make an observation roll.
I'm sorry. I don't.
Since you
I guess it's
guys are
just,
actually looking for suspicious activity.
Yes.
That is not Randall.
That is not Randall.
We need that qualifier.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. We don't need one from Davino.
I guess the best I can do is.
Davino might be outside wondering what the heck we're all doing in here.
I don't know how he got here.
He was here to raid the house. Now we know why he's always got pocket money.
He's got a ski mask and a bag. Wait a minute.
All right, so for the record, during this period in the party, you've been trying to keep an eye out, and none of you have noticed anything that stands out to you as any suspicious activity other than being French. There's a number of couples that end up going off into this or that hallway and disappearing for reasons.
I'm gonna fail
Other
my
than
nosy
that.
and wander in that direction.
I say, Rogers, that Godzilla-looking fella on the dance floor. He's really cutting his stuff.
Tiny arms, though.
At a point in the party, everything kind of the record scratch, and everything kind of stops as there's a bunch of French soldiers show up at the door, and the
I was
leader
afraid they're
of
about to go all eyes wide shut on us.
the leader of the soldiers announces that they're looking for someone, and
someone
they're
you
gonna.
did.
Sorry for party rockin'.
And they start going around everybody and just basically grilling them, asking questions, and they'll eventually get to the Deerings and asking you who you are and where you've come from. You're clearly English.
Jim Appel Deering. Bonsoir, senior.
God.
It's awesome.
At this point, I won't go into heavy detail, but I will get a roll from you for whatever social skill you want to use to get out of telling the truth.
Let's see.
Unless you are telling the truth, in which case convincing them you're still telling the truth.
Daring.
I mean,
Rogers
I'm lying
is
about who I am.
assumed.
Shut up. I'm lying about who I am, but I'm not lying about anything about my record or my service or where I've been or anything like that. So I think that might just be acting.
Acting would typically work here.
Whamp, whamp. A lot of sixes.
You have
Well,
what?
No.
Yep, he's a spy. Seize him.
But I have a wife who speaks better French than I do and might be able to step in and explain that I'm a
yeah. Well,
an
you're
idiot.
gonna get an assist from sex appeal because she's gonna do the distracting with the cleavage.
As she says
Smart.
in perfect French, "Help me! He's holding me hostage."
Shut up.
That's not how we discussed
Tired
this.
of telling you.
I'm just trying to make things worse.
Spenser's ESP that lets him speak in any conversation is starting to piss me off.
I know, right?
It's a magic ability he doesn't realize he has.
The soldiers don't question you further, but you'll get the gist of they're asking around if anybody's seen any suspicious anybody at the party that's not supposed to be here, basically.
Sir Randall's date totally mutters under her breath, I'm not supposed to
I'm
be
not
here.
supposed to be here, but they've wandered off into the garden. So you'll see that they mostly ignore the servant over there,
What
except
servant?
Hayden, except to ask him if he's okay after he has a little coughing spasm.
That's kind of suspicious.
Hayden will. I'm assuming they're speaking French, so Hayden will just smile and nod.
And they'll basically disperse through the crowd. You'll see them every now and again, interrogating somebody else over here, over there, popping into a back room and saying, "I'm sorry," backing away sheepishly.
I'm looking again before they shut the door.
Other than that, you haven't heard what exactly it is they're doing here.
Under my breath to Wilhelmina, I will say, do you know if your contact is here? Do you think this has spooked the deal?
She has not seen the signal yet, but she's beginning to suspect they might be onto something.
Should we leave?
She says she trusts the contact will know what to do.
Very well.
And sometime later, she will, and you have no idea what the signal is, but she'll receive the signal, and you're talking to somebody, and she'll grab you by the arm and says, "I have to take my husband away," and start dragging you off to the hallway.
Work.
And for a minute there, you're starting to think you might be about to get lucky.
Things are looking
And
up.
then you back into what you assume to be the kitchen,
That'll
and
do.
you turn around to see a shadowy figure with a knife standing over a dead guy.
Oh, man.
And the shadowy figure is tucking a letter into his shirt. And he sees the two of you and says something in Spanish and dives out the friggin' window.
I dive for him.
I
or
thought
after
you
him.
might.
If he's too quick to get
I
to
think
the
you're
window
about
before
to
me, I'll
have
go out
a
after.
carriage chase.
Oh, and as I'm diving, I'll say, "John, I need you."
And John will be
You
off.
need to change the name on that, Daniel.
Yeah,
Mouse over it. It's no longer William Rogers.
Whatever.
It's like William Deering.
Chill out, man. We get it.
Oh, man. Let's see. I'm going to need to do that. That works. Okay. We'll put you on the thing, too.
So
All
is
right,
he stunting out the window to start?
The way we're going to start this is you are going to start as static. So you'll be at a -5 and no speed bonus. And the quarry will get a free range shift. But you are starting in close. So chances are he's going to get a split away from you, but
yeah,
that's fine. All right, and I should have put 2 tokens out there for you, and I didn't.
Well, I don't have acrobatics for flying out the window, so I don't think I'm going to try to stunt it.
What's your strength?
11.
I was wondering if you should pull the Casino Royale opening parkour chase where you just go through the door instead of doing the nifty somersault stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, my dex is better than my strength. It's 11 and 12, but I don't have acrobatics. So,
well, as far as the acrobatics goes, you would say that the quarry's actions don't appear to be particularly graceful.
Oh, it's also French. The windows might be ground level, even in the kitchen.
And in this case, you are at ground level.
Nice. So I can just, take a hop out the window. I don't have to take a flying leap out of it.
All right. So everybody's speed bonus is going to be probably a +2. I don't think any of you guys have sevens or anything.
What would have been considered acceptable to wear with regards to weapons and stuff?
Damn it! That was the thing I needed to do. I got distracted. I didn't check and make sure what everybody was equipped with.
Oh, right. Yeah, I
Rapier.
should probably.
Probably not
Sword and
pistol, I
pistol,
don't-
but we would have complied with whatever the protocol was. Like if people had to check firearms or check all weapons or whatever, we would have complied with the rules.
I'm thinking the servants probably would not be expected to be armed.
Yep. I was making sure that I don't have any of mine.
But if it is within protocol, Rogers would have sword and pistol.
Now, Rogers, on the other hand, he's definitely going to be okay to carry a sword. Pistol might be a little weird.
Well, that'll be up to Wilhelmina then when we're deciding on clothes and whatnot. She'll say, no, you can't bring that. Like retcon.
Okay, I will tell you what she will do is say probably not the pistol, and then she will hide a pistol up her skirts.
Fair enough.
So if you are going to retrieve that, you're already at static, so I'm not going to make it any worse.
No, I'll make do with the cutlass, actually.
Okay, I want to make sure that I got the static thing right. La la la.
You should label the
Okay.
tokens on the range band as well.
Well, that would be nice if I did, wouldn't it? Okay, so there's no actual penalty to that.
They just don't get the like +1 or 2 for speed.
You don't get the +2, and the quarry gets free range shift. All right, I think we're ready to go. So he's basically going to take a move. I'm not going to call that a stunt. This is just a friggin' window on the ground floor. No big deal. So you are doing just a move as well?
Yeah, move, but also drawing my cutlass
Okay.
and
yeah,
shouting
can't figure that.
after him. Stop!
Stop you there!
What's all this then?
All right, and I'm going to consider Hayden to be one range band behind you guys, since he did not actually follow you into the kitchen, because that would be weird.
Fair enough.
So Hayden is just going to do a move as well.
Hayden will be doing a move, but can he grab something improvised? Improvised
It's
weapon?
a kitchen.
I tell you what,
Cleaver.
when you come through the door after hearing the alarm raised, you will pass by Wilhelmina, who is holding out a pistol.
As in holding it out to shoot someone, or holding it out to give to Hayden?
That
Handle
would
towards
appear to
you
be a
is what I was
handoff.
hearing.
Alright, then Hayden will grab it.
Tip his hat as he's going by her. Ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. All right,
Grassy
so
ass.
you can you actually grab that out of the items? Grab a Queen Anne's.
Mercy buckets.
Queen Anne, you said?
Uh-huh.
I'm not. Spencer is not planning on getting involved in the chase, but he is probably going to react to the screams, and as soon as he sees a guy on the ground, he's going to go into medic mode.
Yeah, basically after Hayden takes the handoff and is out the window, she's going to scream for the guard or whatnot. So you're going to hear the alarm raised.
Sweet, that'll work.
Nice. All right, so you guys can go ahead and make a chase roll then, as will I.
It's going to
I don't
be
know.
dex or running.
Now, on foot, you can use what complementary skills?
I don't know what you would compliment with in this
Urban
case.
survival.
It's not really urban.
I don't know why you would use running instead of dex, since running is dex minus.
Well, no, it's like, if
Depends
you're
on how many
running,
points
it's
you put
higher
into
than
it.
dex.
Oh, wow, yeah, fair enough. I only put 1 point.
I don't even know if I have it.
Yeah, I can't see anything that I've got that would help anyway, so...
Yeah, I don't even have running.
Good rolls, though.
Yeah, well, yeah, that'll, okay. All right, so
Does Hayden get the speed bonus?
Not this round, I think.
No.
Because you were
No.
considered static.
You'll both be considered static for that purpose. So, if you'll refer to the image, you're basically coming out of the plantation house and bolting out of the yard some direction.
Okay.
And you actually managed to keep up. So you were pretty quick on the draw there. And actually, Hayden managed to close. So
good. So we're close together now. I'll say he spoke Spanish. He got the letter.
now
say
you
too much
guys
while I'm trying
are
to run.
in close. So round 2, you guys are headed. Looks like you're headed through the slave quarters, and you're in close, so you could actually attack.
Are the quarters occupied?
They are. There are some individuals wandering about doing whatever they're doing in the evening, but it is in the evening, so a lot of them are going to be asleep probably. Slaves are mostly here for the sugar cane, so they're not needed.
All right. I don't think my broken French will suffice for this, but I'm going to attempt it anyway. When I see that he has gone into the slave quarters and we're about to chase him through them, I will yell, "Stop that man!"
I mean the area, not the building itself.
Oh, I thought you meant inside the quarters.
No, through the compound.
Gotcha.
Better word.
Never mind.
But there are still people there. All right, so he is going to do a move and keep running.
Since we're in close, I think I may try to move and attack with the cutlass
All right.
and cut him on the leg. Or honestly, whatever I can reach, since it's a chase. I can't really do called shots.
Yeah, you can.
Well, I'm not sure if that's true. If you can.
Yeah, you can, because you can target tires on a car.
Well, we ran
You
into
just can't
trouble in
aim
Trebler
is
once
the
where I bullseyed a guy who was driving a vehicle and ended the
Because you
chase
were
in one
aiming,
roll.
and we
Yeah,
were
that's
like,
where we
"Oh, you
kept
can't
having
aim."
the problems.
Okay.
You can't get accuracy. I think that's the confusion.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't aim.
Well, you can get it. You can aim at a location though, but you don't get accuracy.
Right. You can
Unless
target a
you're
location, but you
gunslinger,
can't.
right?
Yeah. All right. What about Hayden?
Hayden is going to attempt a trip, but I'm just trying to find the rules for that. I think it's just a dex roll. It's a dex roll to hit, and
Are you trying to sweep or trip?
No,
just trip them up.
The trip as a technique is specific to somebody who's trying to evade past you. In your case, you're just trying to kick his leg, basically.
Yeah.
So you can just kick his leg.
Alright, so dex.
I think.
Dex or brawling?
It's normally a sweep, is it not?
All right. Yeah, I guess it would be a sweep. That's what that would be.
It's a penalty to whatever melee you're using.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's, if you succeed, there's no damage, but then it's like a strength on strength kind of roll or something like that.
All right. Well, the
Okay,
pursuers
so-
are gonna resolve their attacks first. So
Actually, a really good move.
So
Okay,
what is the penalty to sweep?
I'm checking. Keep going. I'll find it for you.
I'll roll to see if it matters.
they might.
Yeah, it might.
Now, if you're doing it as a kick, that's going to be at a -2.
I would just say it's a brawling sweep or something. It's push, sweep base, sumo, whatever. Do you have
Yeah, I guess you
wrestling?
could.
Prerequisite skill -3. So it could be whatever. It could be polearm spear, two-hand. It could be brawling. So it's a -3 here.
Oh
Or
man, that
unarmed.
means he missed it by 1. 'Cause if it's
-3.
a kick, because if it's a kick, that's -2. Oh
Well,
man.
it's not a kick.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
I
it's just
suppose you
whatever.
don't have to do the kick there. So
Yeah, he
Yeah,
in
could
that
have
case,
just
that would
shoved
be-
the dude.
Yeah, your target may defend normally. If they fail, quick contest your sweep or strength versus his strength, dex, or acrobatics, or his best grapple.
let me see. So he's running away from you guys. So I'm going to actually give him a spot roll.
I'd have probably just counted it as the sort of the side hex and gone with the minus
All
2.
right.
Why not
Well,
rear?
that's what I'm going to do now.
Well, it's because you're not directly behind him. It's like, you're running, and he's zigging that way. You're on this corner.
If we, well, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
All right. Well, he failed to dodge it. So I think
If it
that's
was-
a contest.
Yeah, if it was like a straight up tactical thing, yeah, you'd probably be right behind him.
So the options
have
were
chase.
strength,
Yours,
dex,
so it's
or
yours. No, your sweep or strength versus his strength, dex, or acrobatics. So it'd be whatever is better. Your skill -3, or your strength, or his strength versus, and it's a quick contest. So he could roll even worse.
All
He
right.
could fail by more than 2.
Well, you made contact, and he stumbled a bit, but he did not fall. Unfortunately, there's another PC behind him.
Yeah, and this is not going to be any kind of called shot. I'm just trying to make a hole in him.
All right. Just going for random.
Poof.
Yep.
Oh.
All right. I will give him the same for you.
actually, it occurred to me
He did see you.
it's probably covered in the rules of the chase if you do a force maneuver.
Well,
yeah,
that's
maybe.
probably a bit more complicated, but it probably would work. Wow. Yeah, he just barely slipped past that one. Zip, zip.
Stop on your life.
Well, I think he figures at this point if he stops, he's going to lose his life. So chase rolls. Now you guys will get the +2 for your speed. You guys will also be at a -2 for the move and attack.
So just straight up.
Otherwise, straight up.
Hey.
Good roll.
All right. Well, let's see. That means that you did not lose ground, so you are still in close. Good job. All right, next round. He is through the slave quarters and gone headlong into the cane field, and a little stumbly because people keep swinging at his legs, but he is continuing to run and very
Gonna
scared.
try to stick him again. Staying on move and attack.
Roger. Roger. Roger.
What's your vector, Victor?
Hayden.
The same.
So sweep again. I am not going to make him roll this time because he knows you're right there. So
Zigzag.
I'll just give him the -2 for the side hex.
As you say that, though, if he's running a straight line away from us and he zigs, we're going to close.
Yeah, but this is using the chase rules, and it's a lot more
It's a little more abstract than that.
abstract. That's
Okay.
the word I was looking for.
Carry on.
All right. So resolve the attacks first.
That was -3, so I'm going to telegraph this one.
Yeah, I guess you could. Get lucky.
Oops, just the first one.
Which figures. Yeah, you couldn't get hold of him that time. Rogers.
So that gives me an idea. Since he is just trying to escape and not counterattacking, is there any reason for me to not do all out?
I don't think you can all out in a chase.
Well, I'll just stick him.
Unless you wanna zoom into tactical combat for that.
Nah, it's fine. It's a possible hit.
We will take that. So you didn't telegraph.
And if I had, I would have missed.
Wow. Jesus. Gonna be one of those days.
Critical success.
Not critical. It's a damn low number though. Alright, next one. So
Chase
you guys chase him through the chase rolls first. See if you can keep up.
Are we doing change of terrain and stuff?
I'm not rolling it.
At least we're keeping up.
Wow. Yes, you are. All right. So you're through the cane field and through a hedge and crossing the road. So there's a bit of ditches there and that sort of thing.
If this takes much longer, I'll have to add him to Christmas card list.
Well, fortunately, Hayden has a gun. Maneuvers. Same.
I'm gonna try to stab him again.
Grapple.
Slippery bastard.
actually grabbing this time.
Yep.
Let's see. Now, did you have wrestling or
No,
an actual grapple skill?
he'll be using
So
Dex.
just Dex. Yeah. All right. Go ahead. You get a little bit of shirt there, and
I think that's actually a success, because aren't you +4 to grab?
no. All right, Rogers. Poke him.
Possible success.
Well, oh man, I just realized I made a mistake on that last one, but it still worked out. It was just a lot closer. Oh ho! Yeah, you got him that time. All right, roll location. Unless you're
Slippery
going for
son
center
of a-
mass.
Well, it's random. I was just trying to stick him. I don't care where.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's chest.
There you go. All right, do your damage. Make it hurt.
Decent.
All right, that is gonna be a major wound. Yes. So I will make that roll and fail utterly miserably at it. All right, so I'm not going to bother with the chase roll at this point because as you guys are clearing out the cane field and crossing the road, and you catch him on the upswing coming out of the ditch and stab him right through the back, and he hits that next ditch on the other side of the road and rolls.
All right, I'm just going to lay on him for a minute and catch my breath.
Some bitch.
He's so fast.
Spanish?
I don't.
Yeah, you don't
Does
speak any
Hayden?
other languages, do you?
I got broken. I got
They're
English
gonna
and
be
broken
like,
French.
speak English, damn it! And he's like, blah, blah, blah.
Why should I? Oh, wait.
Hayden have any Spanish?
He does not, but he speaks the
Español.
universal language of cocking his weapon.
Which doesn't help if this dude just speaks Spanish. So what you should
What's your
do
health?
is that you guys should like speak louder. I understand
Anywho,
that helps.
Brian, what's your health?
11.
Okay, so we're both equally winded. Mine's 11 too.
Though
But I'm
Hayden's
laying
fit.
on him, trying to catch my breath, and I'm going to say, "Get the letter." He's got the letter.
I think you guys maybe went 30 seconds worth. It wasn't that long. It's a good
Well,
sprint.
it is abstract too. So
The man is got a hand at his back as he sort of rolls over a little bit, sees the gun and the other sword, says, "Parley?
I Inglés?
I speak some English, yes."
Good, because the only Spanish I know is I Inglés. Give me the letter.
It's in my pocket.
along with my grenade.
No, man. All right, take the letter.
Just for the record, Hayden is standing a couple of yards away, aimed on this guy, taking weight.
Yeah, in case he's like a ninja or something and about to jump me.
The guy's pretty spry, but he doesn't seem ninja-like to you.
Especially after you stabbed him.
I did stab him.
Or maybe he wants you to think you stabbed him. What if he's immortal?
It felt meaty.
I don't know if we told them about that.
Yeah, they don't know about that yet. Actually, did you tell them anything about that?
There was a duel.
Yeah, Rogers was elsewhere. If any explanation happened.
That's true.
'cause I was with
We barely
Wilhelmina.
seen Rogers. So
All right. Well, to set the conditions here, you know that there are soldiers at the party, and they will have heard an alarm and are probably on their way. You know that you've run a bit of a distance and got some separation, so you have a little bit of time before they get here. And you have established that this man does in fact speak at least some English. And you now have in your possession a letter.
Who sent you to get this letter?
you're gonna have to whack him, aren't you? Because you probably don't want the frogs knowing that he was here to get a letter.
Well, I don't have interrogation, so I'm just asking him. This isn't like a technique.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, having said that, we should probably make you roll that to see how how forthcoming he will be.
Okay.
And meanwhile, he should probably roll himself something. It's unfortunate that I closed that sheet already.
I'll just roll
It
straight
is
IQ,
unfortunate.
and you can apply whatever is applied.
You guys,
Interrogation is IQ -5, intimidation -3, or psychology -4. And there's the various
so
modifiers.
that's a fail by 2 on my side, but it is a
He
contest,
might
right?
get a +3 if you use severe threats, +6 if you use torture.
No, I'm not using any severe threats other than the fact that I just stuck a sword in him.
But you did stick a sword through him.
it
It's going to
counts for
be
something.
-5 if the poor prisoner's loyalty to his leader or cause is very good or excellent.
All right, well, you can hear the ruckus coming from behind. Undoubtedly, the soldiers are headed this way. He will hurriedly blurt out that I don't know who sends the missions. I just get a letter and it says what I should do.
Give me that letter.
I don't have it here. I burn it every time.
Where do you pick it up?
It's complicated. There's a process.
I'll uncock the pistol and then cock it again, making sure it makes a loud noise.
What is he doing?
He's getting your attention.
And with that, the soldiers will come up with the guns and start demanding everybody stand clear.
Well, I will obviously hide the letter, and in badly broken French, I will say, "Here is the assassin."
Or near enough. All right, so the soldiers will take possession of the assassin.
I
And,
probably say, "Where is the assassin?" and point at him.
Yeah, and then they will throw him to the ground very roughly, and you will never see him again. Now what?
Like DeVito's comment, "It's complicated. It's not a street address."
Isn't it? What if that is a street?
So, I guess we'll make our way back to the house and meet back up with Mrs. Deering.
How will you handle the letter situation?
I will whisper to her, "I have it. Let's go."
Ah. Then she will be quite agreeable to that. Yes, let's go.
And Hayden will uncock the pistol and hand it back to Miss Deering.
So she can stick it back wherever it was.
Mrs. Deering, I should say. And Hayden's not going to question where exactly that was kept.
You know better than to ask what's up under a woman's petticoats.
It's complicated. There's no specific
It's complicated.
address.
But as we're leaving, Hayden's going to say, "Bill, I don't know how it happened, but it appears that I've negotiated to transport some cattle to Jiangyin."
How did you manage
Shiny.
Meanwhile, Sir Randall was out in the garden with his date, not bothering anyone, when there was a bit of a crash and a ruckus, and you saw a couple of guys chasing another guy out of the plantation window and barreling through the slave compound.
Probably happened too quickly to really identify him.
And Spenser is keeping a respectable distance.
Just gonna give Sir Randall the "do you want me to find out what that is" kind of look.
Well, actually, because I did tell her that I'm here for the fun of it, it's like, I think we should all go. She might find this part interesting too.
Very
All
good,
right.
sir.
Well, you guys would have arrived about the same time as the soldiers, who would have been running a little faster. And
Oh no, I was gonna go into the building to find out what was going on there.
oh, were you going in the building instead?
Yeah, I am.
Ah,
I want
okay.
to find out why they're screaming in there. There might be somebody hurt.
Randall as well?
Yeah.
Inside? Okay, so
I
you guys
registered.
you guys will go inside, and clearly there was some kind of ruckus back in the kitchen, and Wilhelmina is sitting on a settee over there, looking like she's about to faint, and there's some guys over there fanning her and that sort of thing.
Move aside. I'm a doctor here.
And in between fainting spells and whatnot, she'll let you know that Contact was assassinated, and that Rogers charged off after him.
Oh, I'm going to check on the dead guy.
He is indeed dead.
I regret to inform you, sir, that he is deceased.
She will, a little bit later, she will ask after him and be somewhat sad. She didn't know the guy that well, but she's disappointed for him, I suppose. And
if I was
that
here
would
earlier,
be...
I might have been able to do something.
Around this point, the lot of you will end up together as Rogers and Hayden return from their run, and things are passed around.
Well, that livened up the party somewhat.
Will Randall and Spenser accompany Rogers and Hayden to their coach?
Is it going to explode?
It could.
Well, we'll
probably
sure.
not.
Well, no, because I'm still chilling with the. Well,
Marie.
Actually, you know what? We'll go to the door, and then they can. I guess they'll move on. Yeah, we'll see them to the door, not to the coach.
Right. Okay, that's fine.
We could always fast forward this episode to see who the director was. If it was Michael
Is it
Bay,
Michael Bay?
then we're not getting in the coach.
Bay Fairies.
There haven't been nearly enough explosions to be a Michael Bay film. It's an awesome coach. Okay, so Rogers, Hayden, and Wilhelmina will get back in the coach and head back to town. Randall and Spenser will do so on their own a bit later.
I think I may end up coming in by myself since Randall ditches me.
Randall, how is Randall going to handle the disengagement here?
Come on, Mark. You know you want to roll it.
You got to stick to dismount.
You know you want to roll it.
Oh, let's see.
I say, Sir Randall, I don't fancy you like that.
At the very least, she walks away knowing that she's got it.
Well, now you guys have to go in your own coach back, unless you were planning on doing something here. What was the plan? Was it here or take her somewhere else?
Coach has its own rhythm.
So I'm riding up front with the coach driver? Because I can't drive this thing. I don't think I can drive this thing.
You know what?
I can try to drive this thing.
I'm going to go ahead and push for a luck roll and see if I can get better. And yeah, the coach.
Okay. You got some bennies too.
You are a D-bag there, Sir Randall. A rake, even.
You are a rogue, sir.
Rogue and a rake.
Well, at least I'm not a physician.
Oh, we're totally taking the 5-7.
Okay.
We need to come back by here in about 10 months and get chased off the island.
And I'm not.
There's at least three others. There's at least three other ports where that could be the case.
I think it needs to happen at all three ports.
Well, as it happens, back in so Spenser's riding up with the coachman, and the two of you are alone in the back of the coach. And as you sort of suggest something, she will politely inform you that it's not that she hasn't done it with a man, it's that she hasn't done it with a man. But maybe she could give it a shot. Just the once. So you just, as luck would have it, you happen to catch her at the right moment.
And the mighty Casey is at bat.
So
I would like the record to reflect that is a success by 7.
So Spenser will hear the bang from the coach, telling the coachman to take another couple of turns around the block.
And the rest of us see fireworks coming out of this coach for some unexplained reason.
In the meantime, in the other
coach goes into a tunnel.
So once you guys are underway back to Port-au-Paix, Wilhelmina will crack open the letter and start reading it, and suddenly realize, what is this, Greek?
Poop.
How odd.
I'll look over her shoulder. What does it look like?
It looks like Greek to you. Of course, that could mean multiple things.
No.
Blah, 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 la Greek.
She says, well, yeah, that's tradecraft for you. Of course, they're going to use a language that hardly anybody speaks around here.
Hello.
Can you make a copy of it? I might have someone who can make sense of it.
Do you?
That's what I'm telling her.
All right. Well, let's ride over to your guy and see if we can't get this translated then.
No. I mean, can I get a copy of it so that I can take it elsewhere where I know someone who might be able to make sense of it?
Okay, you realize that that means someone will have to get a sheet of paper and actually write it down separately, and probably have to know Greek letters, or they'll screw it up.
Oh, well, I was thinking just copying things, which, as I recall, you're good at as a forger.
Are you a forger?
No.
Oh, she
Not
is.
me.
Oh,
yeah.
I got you. I'm with you now. I'm catching up. Yeah, given time, she could potentially do that. However, she would like to expedite the issue. If you've got a...
Okay.
She will allow you to take it to your guy if you want to do that.
Do I know anything about what languages Dr. Spenser is versed in?
He uses them all the time.
Okay. So I will let her know.
Not meaning to.
I will let her know that our ship's doctor, who she may have seen making a complete ass of himself at the party, happens to be a linguist, and he may be able to make sense of this.
All
so
right,
I will take it to him and have him take a look, and then I'll bring it back to you, and you can make a copy.
That'll work.
We need a tech level 4 Google Translate.
So this is not happening then. Us.
She looks at you and says, "Well, you did say I owe you a favor now."
No.
Oh, it's a favor.
No. I'll let it marinate then. See you tomorrow.
Another time.
So
okay,
cold.
So a little back at as you process the situation there, you realize she's always done that to you. She's the one that it never actually happens. It threatens to, but it never actually happens. All right, so you take the letter to Article, who I believe is staying on the ship at this point, so you end up having to look for him a bit.
Yeah, my apartment my room got tossed.
Yeah, he got kicked out of the hotel, so he's back on the ship. So I eventually locate him, and I wake him up. Dr. Spenser, I need your expertise.
No, there are no monkeys. What? Huh?
Boom hides in the corner.
So you take a look at the letter, and it is addressed to one Martinez Villalobos, who you do not know the name of. And, well, okay, let me mash this together a little bit. So between your translation from Greek and, I guess, Article can write out the translation or something.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
what
you
I figured.
get back to...
It's like he'd read it and then translate it.
So you get the translation back to Wilhelmina, and It's addressed to Martinez Villalobos, who she recognizes as the quote-unquote spy master to the governor of Havana. And the letter itself is informing the governor of an upcoming signing of a new treaty at Vienna between the Habsburgs of the Holy Roman Empire and the Bourbons in Spain. There are some details about the nature of the treaty, specific to commerce and recognition of the Ostend East India Company, which is the HRE's East India Company, and free docking rights and this, that, and the other with Spanish colonies and whatnot. And the impression given is that this is merely a defensive alliance. But as Wilhelmina is looking at it and processing it through a more espionage-related lens, says this is totally a pretext for a full military alliance between the two. And I would bet money that they are going to use this as an excuse to retake Gibraltar.
Very interesting. My question is, who are you working for in this matter?
The good guys?
We'll laugh. Of course. Which good guys
The
are you
crowd.
working for?
Yeah, she's always kind of dodged that question too.
Ah, man. Story of my life.
You've never had legitimate reason to believe it was someone other than the British Crown, but you never can tell. She could always be taking a side job.
Yeah.
But to be
and things
fair,
are-
this
things are
particular
always weird.
intelligence. Yeah, exactly. But this particular intelligence is of more use to the British or the French than it is to anyone else. So, having done all that, she takes up the original letter and says, I wonder if we shouldn't actually see this delivered to Havana.
Havana is our next stop. I can take it if you wish.
Take her. if you
Not the
wish.
next stop, but the stop after that. But
Oh,
yeah.
well, I will say it correctly.
Says, well, that would be 2 favors I owe you then.
Things are looking up.
So what's the favor to Nookie ratio?
I think it's a
Do you
3 to
hear
1.
something?
I think it's a 3 to 1 conversion.
Cut to Sir Randall being chased off the island.
Cut to Rogers chasing Payne across the island with a sword, saying, "Cardio's good for you."
All right. Let's see. So that is the end of Wednesday. So you guys dealt with provisions. Provisions are loaded. And you've got a ton of grain that is also loaded now. And you guys are pretty much ready to go whenever you want, now that the business has been concluded.
Speaking of the business, I am going to fill in Payne and Hayden since they agreed to help with what they helped with.
True.
Exactly. And about the letter and its contents and its meaning, and that we're taking it on to Havana.
Absolutely. Can't have the Spanish potentially taking land from king and country.
Now,
Quite.
just to remind you guys, since you probably aren't aware of the historical situation, the last war of the Quadruple Alliance, Spain lost Gibraltar to Britain in the peace treaty, and so, given that there's been a sort of Cold War since then, it would be no surprise to anyone that they had designs on getting it back.
Yep.
It was more than just Gibraltar. I think it may have been Minorca as well. Some other stuff. There's a lot of crap that traded hands at the end of that mess. So, decision about leaving. When to go? Sunrise? Later? Hang out for a week?
I think sunrise would make the most sense because we need to get everybody back.
So whenever we can roust the crew and get them all aboard.
Is Jeff Jeffrey going with us? I don't remember where we were taking him.
So you guys have posted around that you were headed to Nassau, and in your numerous conversations since then, you said, "Yeah, I could go to Nassau. That gets me closer."
Closer to what?
I'm thinking about going back to England or possibly New England. I don't think I've been in the Americas lately.
No, you have to finish teaching me.
Oh, I'm a terrible teacher.
Not
So
a terrible swordsman, though.
that does mean he will be making another deposit for passage to Nassau.
Okay.
Mostly saying that out loud for my own purposes. Let's see, that's going to be...
I'm totally going to try to tell me or get him to eventually sort of maybe reveal what he saw when he looked at the door and freaked out. Unlikely to be successful, but no, it was 14, I think we said.
No, this is the new one.
Oh.
New distance.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's gonna dodge that one. You know damn well he's lying when he says it was nothing, but that's all he's gonna say about that.
Is she dangerous to my crew?
No.
That didn't sound
I don't
like
think
you
so.
really.
I don't really know.
And she's gonna turn into a mare person and eat Sir Randall. And as he dies, he's gonna, go, "I told you so," and I'll never hear the end of it because his ghost will haunt me and keep telling me he told me so.
I told you so.
Well, I am in a weird spot here, so I need to... I'm gonna take a couple of seconds for a bio,
One,
and then
2 and
I will make a decision about how to wrap this.
Okay. Are we going to take break or just continue?
I'm gonna call this an unofficial break. I won't be there.
Well, this is gonna be the next day, right?
It will be. Well, I'm assuming it's going to be the next day. I haven't heard otherwise.
That means we're gonna have to see. Take your damn bio break. And we're gonna have to see John make his death check.
I didn't die.
Boo! We wanted to see what would happen.
It's already done.
I've got a note for what happens. If I fail,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, if I fail the health roll,
Don't spoil it.
Well, people on the stream might want to know.
All right, I'll take my headphones off for a minute. Go ahead.
It's in the forum. Yeah, if I fail a health roll, my margin of failure I have to take, or if I fail a health roll, I die. In lieu of dying, I select a health-related disadd that has to be equal to or exceeding the margin of failure. Each progressive health roll is an accumulative -1, so next health roll will be at health -1 and so on.
Right, back.
Yeah, I think that was, I seem to remember way back when there was a website that did some GURPS stuff for the Strike Force Mortuary comic, and they had the terminally ill, and they did something like that as well, where it's like each month it was an additional -1.
So eventually he's going to be failing by a lot.
And he's going to turn into a zombie.
Yeah, I keep forgetting to have people react to his quirk level hacking up a lung thing.
Yeah, I suspect Spenser does the medical as much as he can.
Okay. Still
definitely aware that Hayden. Sorry, you do realize that this is terminal. Yep.
Still Wednesday evening. Spenser did the translation. Did you go with them to give the letter to Wilhelmina?
I did not.
Okay. So you don't actually know what the results of that are anyway. Sorry, processing.
Totally gonna have to try to get Jeffrey if he's capable of teaching me like a wizard lock sort of thing. So I can hide the book in plain sight. Now I need to see if that's even possible. Are we being attacked by mer ninjas?
Yeah, I got myself in a weird corner here.
I'm back.
Didn't know you were gone.
Yeah, I took my headphones off because of spoilers.
Brian was just walking through how the terminally ill is going to work. Could go
That
with
might
illusion
work.
shock.
Okay. Tell you what. Was that health roll actually supposed to be something?
It was, but I'm happy to re-roll again.
Because I didn't ask for it, so.
Oh,
How
well,
unfortunate. I'll have to re-roll it.
the thing is,
All right.
Phil asked
Thing
for
is-
it, and he said, "Well, here it is," and rolled it. So that was
Yeah,
his
that
health
doesn't
roll.
count.
Yeah,
Phil's
so
not
it
the
doesn't
GM.
count. Well, I am a GM. I'm not the
He's
GM.
not the GM. He's not the GM
He's
right
awfully loud for not the GM.
I know,
now.
right?
You know.
If only he would
sometimes.
shut the hell up.
All right, so.
Hey, that's my tagline.
So you guys are about to go your separate ways for the evening, and Rogers is going to take Wilhelmina back to her hotel, and maybe stay there. I don't know. And
Universal.
actually, where's Randall in that case?
He is.
Because he didn't necessarily
He's off with
need to go with
Marie.
that was
no.
that was
You
a
should
one
totally
and done there.
start-
That wasn't
Ah.
she wasn't going to keep you overnight.
Well, it depends on how well he rocked her world. He did make the sex appeal by 7.
We are not making a roll to see how well he rocked her world.
That's why I figured the sex appeal by 7 would have counted.
Well, I thought it was like thumbs up or thumbs down.
Was I
Did
a
or did not
man?
happen.
So she just kicked you out of the thing and said, "Thanks, you're nice. Get lost."
More or less.
Damn, that's cold.
It happens. It's a numbers game.
Wait until
So
you
should I
come
make
back
a
here
reaction roll or
10,
just use
10
my
months later.
imagination?
She
Just
kicked
use
me
your
out.
imagination.
Fair enough.
This is Portapay, right?
No one will ever know. Yes, it's Portapay.
True. Gentleman's
You
code.
are naming them, right, Mark?
Yep, Marie Portapay. Spot was.
I was totally gonna make Witcher cards, and I decided that was a little more explicit than I wanted to get. So
Well,
no.
the American versions of the cards, from the game that shipped were pretty just PG.
We were at St. Kitts last time, right?
Yes, yeah.
And that is the this is a
Merchant.
noble girl.
No, that was the merchant lady.
You need to get Daniel to make another map and put a pin in every spot just for you.
And textile merchant.
Right. No, wait. Crap, actually.
Or was it cotton?
What was it in St. Kitts? Because that was Barbados. Who was it in St. Kitts? Was there one?
It was a non-named.
It was a nun. All right, way to go.
Unnamed.
Yeah, I can't remember now. That's going to bug me. I'll have to go back and dig through.
Right, so Barbados and then St. Kitts.
You were in the process of saying something before we
Yes, I
vastly
was.
derailed you.
Okay, so to establish, Rogers with Wilhelmina and taking her back, and then whatever's going to happen there. Randall may not be in town yet. Spenser is back at the ship. Davino, hotel, probably. So Hayden can go ahead, and I will do this like a couple hours in game early, and you can make the health check. First death roll. You are dead.
Oh man.
Oh, sad. But
You
I got
can,
better.
So since you failed by 3, you can take a 5 point.
You know what it should totally do there, where it's like that's how you sort of end it. He starts coughing, and
Well,
then
that's
he just
basically
falls.
what I'm going to do. Is he's going to actually, yeah. So you're going to go into a friggin' coughing fit and spit and blood out on the floor and whatnot. and that's how the game is going to end, and you can figure out the actual dis ads afterward. But
crap.
yeah, so hacking up a lung looks pretty rough. Cut to black, cue the music, roll credits.
No actual lung material, though.
No, but oddly enough, his hands and his head start glowing gold.
What?
No, that doesn't happen. No,
Seriously, you don't get that?
No, I don't
I
get
don't
it
know
either.
what you're talking about.
Hands and head glow gold.
Doctor Who.
Oh, okay.
I was just saying there's only a couple of documented cases of people actually coughing up a piece of their lung and they died immediately.
I was just remembering I saw a story somewhere about a guy that coughed up some stuff out of his lungs, and it was like it was bronchial shaped.
Oh, yeah, that guy died. That was a blood clot. I know what you're talking about. It was a blood clot in the shape of the major and secondary bronchioles. So it looked like a tree.
Yeah, I remember seeing a picture of it, but I don't remember him dying.
No, yeah, he died immediately.
All right, well, let me see, wrap up. So, anybody got any extra bookkeeping to do this time?
A weird thing on my character sheet, when I added the broken French, it didn't cost a point and it didn't have a place for me to be able to edit the cost. So it says the cost was 0. I went ahead and took a point off my available points, but it didn't add a point to my character points because it says languages, French, broken, none, points 0, and I can't edit the 0 to 1.
You can't edit the 0. Why?
Oh, it just changed to 1. Did you change it?
Yeah, I know, because I changed it. Could you not?
No, I can't change it. I am not able to alter that field.
I don't understand that. But
It's grayed out,
I guess
and I
it's
can't change
fixed.
If you click into it, it worked for me just now. I was playing around.
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't be able to. I don't think I've
No,
ever
I just
noticed
clicked
that
it and
they're
hit 2, and it didn't change to 2.
not editable.
I hit
Huh.
backspace, and it didn't go blank.
Well, I wonder if you just didn't actually click it, because it should be highlighted if you did.
Yep, it's highlighted. There's a black box around it, but it's still grayed out. And if I hit a digit, it doesn't change. I see you changing it, but I am not able to change it.
I don't get that.
Brian, fix it.
Whatever.
What are we talking about?
On
The language is being weird.
I cannot change the point cost on my languages.
You try switching the edit on.
The edit on. What do you mean?
You know, you got the edit button.
No, that's not going to be it. So if you click on the points section and hit
so it's highlighted.
and then hold control and then mouse wheel up and down.
Oh, that worked.
I can't type into it, but I can mouse wheel it.
You should be able to type as well. So if you just type a number, it should
cannot
work.
type.
Yeah, everybody else is able to type it, just not.
Yeah, I'm able to type.
Nope. I can mouse wheel it, but I can't type.
Is your number lock off?
Let's see. No, numlock is on. And I wasn't using the keypad anyway. I was using the numbers across the top of the keyboard.
Just trying to. Cool.
All right. Well, 1 character point for everybody.
I'm going to take the first level of chronic pain.
Are you? Okay. That's going to be your thing.
Yep.
Very well. And you will also be doing your next just check at a -1.
I'm going. Oh, my crossing's already at 18. Never mind.
All right.
Since
You already
Davino-
did some stuff. You got dancing and whatnot.
Yep.
I was going to say, since Davino didn't get to go to the party, and that was a huge part of tonight, there should probably be some Davino-focused stuff next week.
I guess we'll see. But let's see. Does he have? I think something you could take skill-wise out of that would be what's going to be the gunsmith? Probably profession gunsmith. I'm thinking.
Okay.
Because you definitely got a good taste of that. And at some point down the road, if you spend enough time at some port, you could actually use that as a job role. I might go looking that up just to make sure I got the right thing, but you can fix that on the fly. Anybody else?
Not at the moment.
Let's see. We didn't have any fear checks. There's technically combat for a couple of you, but you got plenty of time to relax that off. So
Whose
I don't
hat
think
did
anybody's
Boone
going to get.
make away with?
Oh, it was the gunsmith's hat,
Nice.
but he gave it back.
Would you call a gunsmith a dex-based or IQ-based professional skill?
That's going to be IQ based,
Okay.
although one could make the case.
No, I agree. It's IQ.
All right. Well, if nobody has any other business to take care of, hold on, I got to write that one thing down.
Looks like Hayden needs a Tylenol.
Yeah, I'm going to have to remind myself what chronic pain does.
Every day I have to roll on a success. In this case, if I roll 6 or less, then I suffer at this stage mild pain for 4 hours.
Which is -2 to Dex and IQ.
So those 3 rolls that say failure were actually successes?
Correct. So I want to fail this
Is there
roll.
not anything we can do about that?
What do you mean?
It says failure, but it's a success.
Oh, right.
Can that not be fixed?
I wonder.
Well, this is for activation, so we want it to fail. It's kind of like your battle skill.
Yeah,
So how do
we
I,
see
as a
those every
player,
now
know
and
whether
again.
success and failure means success or failure?
Well, you just have to know what you're looking at there.
Well, think of it like this.
Yeah.
This is a roll to see if chronic pain activates. On a success, it activates.
Okay, so maybe that should just be in the description.
Chronic
Of
pain
the-
activation.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, you could do that.
chronic pain activates on a 6 or...
Yeah,
Yeah, make it more descriptive.
that would be
so that you can interpret the results even if you don't
that
know
would be readable.
that 50% of the rules work one way and 50% work the other way.
All right.
Well, that'll be fun. All right. If you're watching this and you have questions, corrections, suggestions, or general hecklings, feel free to leave a comment here or find us on Discord. Thank you for watching. Olympus out.
Good night, stream.